Wanna cry.
The 2022 chapter of NORCTONA Speedweeks continues with the penultimate race in this quintet of send-off races. 300 miles, 120 laps await us as we don our eyes upon the beautiful as ever Daytona International Speedway. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual world center of racing. I'm Emerson Arden with Caleb Gladney alongside, and Caleb, we've seen 3 amazing races so far. I'm not expecting anything short of action-packed. We're talking about Xfinity cars on a high banks at Daytona tonight.
Glad to be here, Emerson, and I would have to agree with you completely on that. From the get-go of these NORC races, we've seen intensity from the drop of the green flag of the NORC Classic all the way up until today, and I think you will see that continue on with this NORCTONA National 300. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it should be an exceptional race.
Once again, Emerson Arden and Caleb Gladney, and we have Jay Cook rocking the social media coverage tonight. And while we say, we'll get to something else here in a moment. But anyway, Caleb, we've seen now this track the past 3 weeks produce amazing racing. For old time's sake, and also if there's anyone new tuned in, let's go ahead and just recap everyone what this Daytona International Speedway entails, what it's like, and what we're going to be looking at tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can look right here on the track map. You see 31 degrees of banking in each of the turns. That 31 degrees of banking is one of the highest bankings we have anywhere we go on any schedule. And then also the 18 degrees of banking there in the tri-oval, and we've said it previous weeks, and it proves to be true every week. And that 18 degrees in the tri-oval can throw a wrench into things and be quite tricky when you're coming through there at 190 miles per hour. you hit that little piece of banking at that 18 degrees, and things can get squirrely there in the tri-oval.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we always look at Daytona as being one of the higher banked racetracks, and it is. And think 18 degrees of banking in the tri-oval, that's pretty high bank for a lot of tracks as well. But the tri-oval, it's so fast, such a quick little movement in the steering wheel, and when you're all packed up very wide like these NORC drivers certainly will be tonight, we're looking for a lot that could potentially go on there in that treacherous tri-oval, as always, in the 31 degrees making in the corners. Always just very intense. If you're in the middle of that three-wide pack, and then your car has to shift its weight while you're going 200 miles an hour. I mean, I know, you know, it's all pixels and sim rigs and all, but you still grip that wheel a little bit tighter. It's intense, especially when you're in the middle of one of those packs, and we've seen just how intense it could be the previous weeks. Let's just look back to last week with the truck race. While we had two chaotic opening stages, it was really that final stage that went a lot of green flag racing. We got green flag pit stops, and the intensity just picked right back up right after pit stops.
Yeah, and I think one thing about Daytona that maybe the track map didn't show is how narrow the speedway is compared to its sister track, Talladega. This track is really meant for 3-wide racing. I mean, a lot of people don't push it to 4-wide. If they do, I mean, they're inches apart. Whereas Talladega, you can almost ride 4-wide comfortably. So that's one thing about Daytona is it is a narrow 2.5-mile racetrack with this kind of banking, 31 degrees, like we said, in each turn, and 18 degrees in the tri-oval. It can be treacherous, and excited to see that kind of thing as well today.
Absolutely, and I want to bring this back up because there's another couple things we're going to be looking at tonight. And let's look at these qualifying lap times. We're going to talk more about the Xfinity Series lap times because that's just more what we're dealing with tonight. You see, Tommy Houston currently holds the fastest lap in the Xfinity Series, and it was the Busch Series, but it's a 46.298. These drivers, they can barely hit that in the draft, but they are hitting that, and we're going to be seeing these guys fly around here tonight. And Tommy Houston did that in 1987 Buick, and this was before the cars were restricted. Now they're restricted. These cars, they have 650 horsepower without restricted plates on them. We throw some restricted plates on them, I think we're looking at somewhere in the range of 450 to 500 horsepower, and these drivers really having to kind of work with one another to build any kind of speed. And then of course, the World Center of Racing, the beautiful Daytona Rising senior screen came to be in 2016, and you get to overlook a beautiful Daytona International Speedway. Unfortunately, without that backstraight or grandstand, but a beautiful, beautiful grandstand here on the front stretch.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrades they made to the speedway have paid off. I mean, it's like they say it is the World Center of Racing. I think anywhere in the world, this racetrack matches up with just about any racetrack in the world, and it puts it right into perspective of how beautiful this racetrack is, looking over Lake Lloyd right there, and that just shows you how big this racetrack truly is, Emerson. I mean, there's a full lake in the middle of the speedway.
Yeah, that's gnarly to think about. I mean, it's a big lake too. It's not just a body of water and they slapped lake on the name. That is a real lake. It spans almost the entire back straightaway. It goes quite a bit inward, from the innermost wall of that back straightaway. I mean, it's a gnarly little lake back there. With that also being said, Caleb, you just asked me in a PM, but I think it's important that we go through it anyway. There are stages tonight. We do have stage breaks at the completion of lap 30 and lap 60 tonight. And like last week, there's a little bit of moolah on the line. Each stage winner gets $10 their name. You sweep the stages in the race, you get $30, but the race winner, even if they don't win any stages and they just straight up win there at the end of the race, 100 big ones. A little bit of money these guys are racing for as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And we saw TCB last week bring it home and sweep all the stages plus the win. So a big payday for him. Could he go back to back and perhaps fill that wallet up some? We're getting ready to find out.
Absolutely. Another couple things to note. 4 sets of tires are in the pit lane tonight, plus the ones on their cars, making it 5 sets tonight. And we have, what was it, no fast repairs for 120 laps of racing at Daytona. And we've seen, even with no fast repairs, how chaotic they got in a 100 lap race last week. Added 20 more laps. We'll see what happens. It was a little clean there at the end because of all the craziness that happened. See on your screen now. Oh goodness, drivers are so what just happened this past weekend? The iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform hosted their annual Daytona 24. I see a bunch of drivers now going and playing in the infield, where that a majority of that 24-hour race took place. I had the opportunity to complete that as well. But the iRacing Daytona 24, along with all these Daytona Speedweeks races for NORCTONA Speedweeks races, you're getting a lot of Daytona in this month. I see these drivers. They still want to go play on that infield. I see them running around the motorcycle course, the full infield road course. Everybody having their own grand old time down there. But before we get too far into things, do want to give a shout out to all of our partners here at Pits.tv and the people that make things go round. Of course, Tucson Sound Art, Permanent Makeup and Cryo Main, Whiplash Media, and BAM Racing Videos. Caleb, you're getting close to race time here. A lot of Daytona, like I said. But, I mean, it just gets better the more we continue on into these NORCTONA Speed Weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we have had a lot of Daytona, but we've also had a variety of races here at Daytona. We started out with the NORC Classic, and I don't think there's been anything close to that race with the unknowns in that. I mean, coming into that with 1987 cars on all Daytona, those cars were so hard to hold on to. And then from that, we jump into the ARCA cars, a little bit more stable, but with some tire fall off, it's hard to necessarily lock bumpers. Then we jump into the trucks last week, which is a whole different ball game. And that race, like you said earlier, was very caution heavy in the front end, which wasn't to be expected. And then a green flag runs at the end. So although we've had a lot of Daytona, it's been different Daytona. And tonight I would expect the same thing. And I'm not sure what to expect with these Xfinity cars. And I think the fans' guessed, whether that be on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or anywhere, their guess is as good as mine.
Absolutely. Oh goodness, I can't wait. Now I am also a little happy to be back on the oval. Granted, I love road racing as well, but I ran nearly 300 laps just during the race this past weekend in the Daytona 24. Not to mention all the practice laps I took. I'm okay with not having a heavy braking zone right past the start-finish line, turn into the infield road course. So I'm glad to be back here at the oval with these NORC boys as well.
Well, we're glad to be back at the Oval, and with 1:28 left before we turn them loose for qualifying. Will Klein at the top of the speed charts right now. He is a NORC Classic winner earlier this year, and we ride on board and we take a look at Andrew Cardinale out of Carolina, making a quick time, one of our own.
Yeah, somebody who's also probably seen a lot of Daytona this weekend. He also competed in the Daytona 24 this weekend. He's broadcasted, of course, a lot of Daytona. But he's here, and he is running in this 300-miler with, you know, some of his old friends, some of the people he used to run with when he used to run NORC full time before he used to broadcast this past season. And Andrew Cardinale IV back out there on the track in that beautiful purple Whiplash SimCams 22 Toyota Supra. What a great looking car, and I cannot wait to see that thing right in the middle of the action.
Well, the clock is counting down, Emerson. We are just getting ready to click under 20 seconds until we turn them loose for qualifying. I'm curious to see how many cars we'll actually have take time tonight and what that track position can mean for this entire group of drivers. And I'm also excited to see, Emerson, as the night progresses, you know, we've had some heavy hitters, I think 3 races in a row now, and will that continue to be the same?
I believe so. We're taking a look at last week's winner, TCB. Look at him taking a few laps on the infield road course. Oh, good. I love this, by the way. I love the fact that you can go down through the infield road course, and practice has come to a close. Gonna go ahead and just ship it through the infield. Qualifying now, the name of the game, as the session changes hands here. 5 minutes, single car runs. We're getting ready to see who will set the pole for tonight's NORCTONA Xfinity 300. And waiting for drivers to take to the track. Now we got a couple names. How about Tony Hilbrand's in the 92? Here it comes. Getting ready to turn it loose in that number 92.
Well, he's cut up the speed on the apron of the racetrack. He'll probably throw it up onto the backstretch, you know, just picking up speed right now. You see him in the 140 range, keeping it down there, and then he'll start to shoot up in RPMs and speeds as he enters the backstretch, which he does. And I'll tell you, Tony Hilbrand has been one of these drivers that has been close to wins so far in these first 3 races, but as these last 2 races progress, you only got 2 more chances tonight and next week to get a win here in these NORC races. So it's put up or shut up time for all these drivers.
How about someone who's also shown a lot of speed and a lot of promise in these NORCTONA races? How about the 31 of Seth Noel, who is, they stole the apron in 3. I think he's going to go ahead and reset. Yeah, I don't think he was happy with the way he got off the pit lane. So let's catch up with somebody, we kind of know here at Pit Stop TV. How about the 2 of Hayes Booth making a return to the NORC iRacing Series? Hayes worked with us here at Pit Stop TV for quite some time last year, and it was a pleasure to work to call races alongside Hayes Booth. Glad to see him back out on the racetrack in that beautiful number 2 for Mustang. He gets up to speed. He gets up to that high side. Hayes getting ready to turn it loose on his qualifying run as well.
Well, he's another one of those drivers that has been right there throughout all of these races and just hasn't had the luck to put it all together to pick up a good finish at the end of these things. But today could be a changing of the tide for Booth here as he comes across the stripe. You see him drop down closer to the bottom of the racetrack as he is going to start to pick up time here with just under 3 minutes left here in qualifying.
Couple other people taking to the track. By the way, Howie Briss has gone quickest, and we'll go ahead and get those timings going on the left side of your screen. Going for a couple other people to take to the track. But how about this driver in the 5 of David Shutt? This is a driver I've been looking forward to seeing on the track. David Shutt, always a name you want to look for here at Daytona. And getting up to speed now down the back straight. Well, a little bit of a blink there on the back stretch, but should be a-okay. Well, he is blinking, but his time should still count nonetheless. We'll see what he can put up on the charts later on in the session. Let's catch up with Mr. Road Ringer himself, Aaron Smith, in the 70.
Yeah, Aaron Smith is a driver who has been another one that is consistent so far. And last week he kind of showed what he's capable of in the trucks last week, coming up through the field, racing very well there through this race. You see him drop down to the bottom of the racetrack, and we'll see what kind of quick time Aaron Smith can pull up right now as Tony Hilbrand jump to the top of the speed charts. He is number 1, Howie Briss second. Now we have a new fastest lap. That's Williams with a 54.06. We'll have to see if Mr. Aaron Smith himself can top that time as we speak.
Sean Williams goes top of the charts, and there's that man that's right on board with him. How about it? Number 22, Andrew Cardinale the 4th, and looks like it's a little faded there, but you'll see right there. If you can't really make that out, that is the suicide hotline right there on the bottom of your screen.
So Andrew obviously still coming up to speed as we speak, and just like that, Emerson, if you look at the top of the speed chart, Aaron Smith jumps up there with a 53.31. So if Andrew's gonna jump on the pole, that's the time he's got to beat.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think he's gonna have enough time to set a qualifying lap on the bottom. I think he went a little too late. So this is gonna be his lap. He will not get enough time to complete a second lap. So his timed lap is going to be on the high lane.
Well, running board on right here. So when he crosses the start-finish line, that lap will not count if he does not get around in time before the session ends?
Yes, so he does not have enough time to complete this lap.
Gotcha. So he is going to be about 21 seconds short of the line.
Well, I guess we'll give him the TV time. It's been a minute. Oh, I say it's been a minute since he's gotten TV time. He always gets TV time, but this time he's in a car.
Yeah, it's the first time since I've been with Pit Stop TV I've had the pleasure and honor to call a race with Andrew in it. So used to him being a booth partner, but now he is a racer. So looking forward to see what he can do tonight.
Absolutely, and we're getting ready to get to action here tonight for the NORCTONA National 300. And the driver is getting ready to get set on the pit lane on the grid tonight, and looks like we're sworn about a 30 plus car grid. Let's get right to it. Row number 1, it's the road ringer himself, Aaron Smith, proving he can do it on the high-speed banked oval Daytona International Speedway pole for Aaron Smith, and that number 72 is outside. It'll be the 31 of Seth Noel. Row number 2, it'll be the 5 of David Shutt. He'll be starting right alongside the 8 of Josh Robin. Row number 3, it'll be the 3 of Tommy Giassa making his return to NORC competition. The 89 of Sean Williams starts in 6th. Row number 4, it'll be the 25 of Terrell Baker and the 92 of Tony Hilbrands. And row number 5, it'll be the 03 of Dylan Patterson, the 97 of Howie Briss.
Back in row number 6, the number 2 of Hayes Booth and the 53 of Michael Keithley. Row number 7, rolling off in 13th, is the number 22 himself, Andrew Cardinale, and the number 20 of Daniel Falkingham. Rolling off 15th and 16th is Femi Olot and the 48 of Will Klein. 17th and 18th is going to be Anthony Emery in the 44 and Bobby Cheney in the 24. And 19th and 20th rounding out row number 10, Spencer Owens in the 12 and Freddie Rosa in the 33.
Following our way back to row number 11, it'll be 68 of Tom Mercier, the 27 of Jared Washawn. For number 12, it'll be the 35 Brett Pancari. Zach Lindgren returns to the track in his number 85 and 24th. Row 13, it'll be the 74 of John Barry, the 69 of Sheldon Lockie. Row number 14, the 1 of Jared Darling, the 84 of Cody Lamas. Row number 15, it'll be the, well, looks like we missed row number 15, but it'll be the 9 of Patrick Colby, the 17 of Aiden Kirkern to round out the field, the 60 of Jimmy Gregory, and the 93 of Matt Hummel. Our 32-car grid for tonight's race. The drivers getting ready to roll on their 1 formation lap tonight. I have to ask Caleb. I know last week it was a little chaotic for, well, all of us. But who is your pick to win it all after 300 miles tonight?
Well, I'm going with Daniel Falkingham. I think his time is due. He's had a tough couple of weeks with some luck and getting caught up in crashes, but he's shown speed, and I think tonight's his night in one of these Xfinity cars.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to stick with my pick. I think these eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers, I think, it's a little bit of an easy pick pretty much anywhere besides Daytona, because just anything can happen at Daytona. So I don't think it's too much to ask for, but I got to go with the driver who swept the Talladega races last season, the Talladega Duels, the 18 of Femi Olot. He'll be starting from the 15th position, and I think he can do it. But here we go, the drivers and their city cars. Paints are updating for us a little bit here, but we will get those paints updated and ready to go. And here we go. What's up?
Well, just real quick, I wanted to say I'm excited to hear TCB's yeehaw to the start-finish line to get this one kicked off after he being last week's winner.
Yes, sir. I was going to bring him right on up, and TCB, take it away.
All right, boys, here at Daytona for the Xfinity. Where's the beef? Or beef is for dinner, something like that. 300. Yeah!
through turns 3 and 4 we go. It is David Shutt to the front of the inside lane. Seth Noel on the outside as they roar their way to the start-finish line.
Coming back across the stripe, 3-car will lead lap number 1 of this NORCTONA National 300. We saw 3 wide racing in lap number 1, coming across to complete that one. Lap number 2, they're stacked up double file through turns 1 and 2.
Continue on, double wide down the back straightaway. It is Seth Noel leading the bottom side.
Seth Noel is tucked there on the bottom of the racetrack. As we look back through the field, a couple of these drivers just decided right now is a good time just to ride out on the racetrack, trying to pick and choose their lines. Perhaps going to get single file back here as we continue to roll on. Bottom of the racetrack seems to be the place that all these drivers are hunting for here as we come around and complete lap number 2.
Back up front, you can see the pack 3 wide there in that 4th row. Hayes Booth trying to make something work on that top side, leading the middle lane. Give me the 92 of Tony Hilbrands. Now Keithley moves to the middle. Hilbrands gets stuck up high. Hayes Booth trying to come to the rescue, and David Shutt jumps back out of line out to the outside of Seth Noel. The inverse of what it was going on lap number 1.
David Shutt will use that outside lane to bring Michael Keithley with him on the top side. That will push him a nose out front in front of the bottom lane here to come around and complete lap number 3. David Shutt will lead that lap over Gossett.
Tommy Gossett is up there in that 3 car. Sorry, I thought that was Seth Noel. Seth Noel is up there actually. But Tommy Gossett hanging stationary on the bottom side. How about Sean Williams working his way up the inside? And Dylan Patterson in that 03 making some noise on the inside as well. Now he actually drops out of line, and look who's working his way up the inside lane. How about that 22 of Andrew Cardinale, the 4th?
3rd on that inside lane and making some headway. Well, maybe he would ride around, but right now he is in this front pack racing, perhaps pushing for this lead there on the bottom of the racetrack. We'll see how aggressive Andrew is as we come around and complete lap number 4.
Bobby Cheney, 3rd car on the outside lane. He's got Freddie De La Rosa behind him working that outside lane. Double wide and pretty even at the front of this field. Looks like David Shutt a little bit stronger leading his line, but Tommy Gossett ultra aggressive at these plate tracks, and he's putting that thing to work there on the inside lane. Looks like more cars are just paired up on that outside lane. Now Hilbrands drops down. That could be a power advantage to the inside.
Hilbrands does jump inside that bottom lane all the way behind Booth there. The is in that bottom lane right now, so we'll see if it helps anything at all. But right now, it doesn't look like it does. Emerson?
Yeah, continuing on, it looks like the momentum on the high side is actually being the bigger factor so far. Michael Keithley also just giving a great shove to David Shutt. Continuing on now, working lap number 6 of 120. It's about 12, 13 cars up here that are all packed up, and you see a lot more just kind of tailing off. They don't want a similar fate to what happened early in the truck race. Even a lot of drivers single file back there as well, just to add to that.
Well, I mean, each driver has their own strategy, and they're going to stick to it and what can help them survive. But if you want to go home with a clean sweep with all the money, you're going to have to get up there and race and try and win these stages.
Absolutely. Now working that outside, it's Zach Lindgren working. Oh, and around goes, I believe that's a 9 of Patrick Colby trying to hang on to that thing. Trying to get back there to see what had happened to the 9, and he spun his way onto the pit lane. And he's going to go ahead, and I think he's going to go ahead and get some service here. We'll try to see what happened at a later point, but it's Tommy Gossett now working his way to the front of that bottom side. 3 wide now. Looks like David Shutt. He's not content on that bottom side. He's going up. Oh, he stays in the middle.
David Shutt stays to the middle of the racetrack right now, but here comes a run on that top side. The number 24 car of Cheney, 3 wide for the race lead.
Still 3 wide. Outside lane's lost a little bit of momentum. They got to get a little more oomph up there. Shut. Jumps to the outside. Now the middle lane. Starting to become a sucker hole there. Only 2 cars in that middle lane. Patterson trying to change that narrative. He pushes the 53 up alongside Tommy Gossett. He peeks to the outside, but to no avail. No help. Drops back down low. Bobby Cheney still there to push the 03 as well.
Although the 03 car Patterson didn't get the lead right there, what it did do was help him from being in the sucker hole. That aggressive move right there keeps these drivers out front, and he's pushing his Tango partner, the 53 car, up Keithley to the race lead.
Michael Keithley holding station now at the top spot. Tommy Gossett still fighting hard on that inside. Bobby Cheney wants to get something going, but well, there he goes. He's peeking to the outside again. He just needs someone to go with him. Cheney is not content riding there, third car on the outside, but doesn't really have much of a choice as well.
Well, when you don't have these drivers that'll roll with you, you kind of got to stay in line. You see he keeps taking that peek to see what'll go with it. Perhaps now he leaves the 03 car of Patterson hung out to dry. And I got to think right there, Emerson, perhaps maybe that was a little bit of a decoy just to get that position.
Potentially, or what I think maybe Patterson thought Cheney was going to go with, but Cheney doesn't want to push somebody on the outside lane. He wants to lead it. Here he goes to the outside. That's going to disband that middle and outside lane. He has to quickly drop back down in line. Advantage inside. Cardinale now works to his inside of Keithley.
Cardinale pulls that inside lane there, third in line. He will not necessarily get clear of that outside lane, but will jump up into this third place position. That's where he rides right now. He's got the 2 car of Booth behind him, but just like that, Keithley will pull this top line or middle line back to the front of the field.
Keithley and Bobby Cheney now doing work with one another. I think Cheney's more content with the 53 now. Freddie De La Rosa, he's also going to want to jump up high if he's getting the opportunity to. A lot of scattering on that back straightaway, a lot of peeking noses. Patterson jumps out, no help though.
Well, when we get past these 10 laps in these races, is typically when we start to see things shake out, yellows start to happen. We're getting to be past that point as we're coming around a complete lap number 10 this time by. Everybody so far so good, but I think that's the treacherous spot right there, Andrew. When they come off of turn number 4, the cars typically shift up the racetrack, and that's where we've seen trouble these past 3 weeks.
It's because those cars, they just get so light there, off the corner and into the corner. Their weight shifts. The cars, they aren't meant to shift weight that quickly, but when you're going these speeds at a track like this, you have no real other way. You gotta just hang on, and these drivers do a great job of it, but sometimes just a little lapse in judgment or a little lapse in control, and that's how things can go awry. But up front, Keithley now challenging once again with Tommy Gossett.
Well, he is using that top lane to his advantage with Gossett behind him, but as we've seen so far in this race, Gossett doesn't want to ride behind anybody. You see right there, he peeks his nose to the outside, but thinks better of it, stays in the middle lane to push Keithley back to the front of the field.
12 laps in. Let's go ahead and ride on board with driver of the number 22, Andrew Cardinale, the 4th. And with that, we want to see if we can maybe hear a little bit from the driver right now in the thick of it at the front of the field. Andrew, what's it like up there?
Well, honestly, riding. We've gotten to ride a couple of times. Some of the guys that stopped really in the race. We've got a lap there ahead, I think. From what I can tell, TCB set up the finish the pit lane. That is complicating things here a little bit. These guys been too wide. I can't tell them they're too wide right now. I don't know. But we're not even Carson straight, sun is really far out.
It was pretty blinding there off of turn number 4. That's actually Patrick Colby to take this field pretty wide. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, things are stringent in it. Right outside there. We got Frank G right at the outside. We're kind of riding right now. So Patterson around this for a little while. And all of a sudden, we're all starting to crash.
Oh, no. Looks like everybody holds on to it. They're still going strong up there, but Keithley now takes the point on the bottom side. Now, gotta say here, are you just comfortable riding in this third car in line, or are you trying to move any more forward?
No, neither of those. No, I was much for that race, but I was one of those guys that was smart or dumb enough to qualify. We'll let you guys decide. And started 13th. There's really no option aside from going to the apron on the back switch, which I don't want to do. I don't want to even risk losing the draft. I just want to ride here. If it's up here, so be it. But I'd much rather be way back there.
That's what I thought. That's what you told us before the show. All right, we're gonna let you get back to it, but it was nice to get a little bit of insight. All right.
You don't want me to commentate while I'm racing? I mean, I can do it. We got 2x2 out of turn number 4. It is lap 14, and up front we got Tommy Gossett, Michael Dean, Tommy James, Sean Williams going at it. Lap car bottom side, that might be Spencer Owens. It's hard for me to say from way back here. We got some idiot here in the 22 car though on the bottom side who's trying to ride around.
I gotta say, I want to step in real quick. That was fantastic. I mean, to be where he's at right now, wow.
This is where it gets fun. Spencer staying bottom. This is where it gets fun. And when you're in a group like this, guys, this is so difficult to orchestrate, especially if that driver does not dip onto the bottom, onto the apron. Yeah, this is where it gets tough. That was not Spencer Owens.
Wow.
That was TCB. Wish him the best of luck, certainly. That was close.
Everybody's squeaking by, nearly into walls, half the field, nearly into TCB's the other half. We stay green, we keep it going. TCB's gonna keep himself planted up here in the front pack to give himself the best opportunity to get the lucky dog should he catch caution later. We do have a stage caution coming up in about 15 laps time as well that these drivers are looking forward to. Andrew, we are gonna let you go back now. Best of luck to you, driver. Looks like it's a lot of fun up here, Bo.
Hey, sounds good. We'll see you later.
Yes, sir. Driver of the number 22, Andrew Cardinale, the 4th. And how about it? Oh, we got TCB dropping back, actually. I thought he was going to stick around up here to try to get that lucky dog.
Well, I thought the same thing, but right now he's just going to fall back. You thought he would be up there racing, trying to get this lucky dog, but nonetheless, we ride on board right here. We got Gossett on the bottom of the inside lane, Cheney on the top side. Both of those drivers respectively pull their lanes back through this Daytona International Speedway trioval.
It is an absolute dogfight. I don't quite recall at the time where I've seen so much of Michael Keithley up here. This is a pleasant surprise, actually, to see Keithley running this well at Daytona. Glad to see him up here. Glad to see, a mixture of names and faces up here. Continue to do battle towards the front of this pack. But Freddie De La Rosa and Bobby Cheney, I think that's a duo that they both want to go to the front. They're both trying their hearts out. You see De La Rosa pushing Cheney, trying to clear, and Cheney is clear to the race lead. Just Josh Robin have what it takes to push De La Rosa up there.
Well, De La Rosa, they're up on that outside. Like I said, he has Josh Robin behind him. And Emerson, I want to make a note real quick, and then I hope I don't jinx anything. But so far, I feel like this race, compared to others, has been relatively calm now as we come across complete lap number 18.
And I'm going to preface this by saying these are probably the best oval racers on iRacing, or at least a good group of them. I mean, not everybody in here is an eNASCAR. There's a couple, and there's definitely some that could definitely contend in the eNASCAR Road to Pro Series and eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series. But this is an insanely stacked group of oval iRacers here. I think they feel pretty confident in their cars and their abilities most of the time. We saw a little too much confidence last week in the truck race, but I think a lot of these drivers, they understand it's 300 miles. There is no need to be uber aggressive.
Yeah, we're not even clicked under this 100 lap point yet, and although we get closer to the end of this stage, we'll have to see how aggressive these drivers want to be as we inch closer to these stages. But perhaps last week was maybe a wake-up call, because if you note, last week we had so many early cautions. We really didn't have that many cars running at the end of this race that were competitive, that didn't have a lot of damage. So perhaps these drivers are just trying to save their car for the end this week.
What I will tell you is if we don't have that many yellows on our way to stage 3, boy, stage 3 is gonna be chaotic.
Yeah, it makes up for it on there in the back end. But want to note real quick, Andrew Cardinale, as we see now, has jumped not necessarily completely out of this pack up front, but he's not up there in the thick of things like he was. Perhaps he's trying to get that position that he was saying would be most comfortable for him, just riding and watching this pack for now.
I was hoping Andrew actually would want to move forward a little bit, because we're looking at his stats here. I mean, 23 laps led. Those
Yeah, he was
aren't.
sniffing
That's not
the
too
lead
good.
there.
We need to get some. We need to pump those numbers before we put these stats away here, Andrew. But how about it? Freddie De La Rosa caught the lead, and then it's Jimmy Gregory pushing Josh Robin to the lead. He gets out of the from behind the 8 car, and now he drops out to the bottom. He goes to the point. Jimmy Gregory to the lead.
What a move by Jimmy Gregory, a driver we haven't really talked about much this evening so far. He's commanding that bottom lane there on the racetrack as we come around to complete lap number 20. We will do just that. 20 laps on the board, 100 laps to go, and we're getting a 10 laps away from the stage break. So intensity picking up as we see 3 wide with Tony Hilbrands up on top of the racetrack.
Seth Noel inserts himself into the mix once again. Noel is here to play Patterson and Gossett the rest of that middle lane. The inside lane starting to really become organized with 3 aggressive drivers leading that inside lane. Really starting to get a move on that inside lane. Let's see if we can right on the pack though. So we can catch an onboard with the 3 of Gossett. There he is. Actually, he's kind of cleared that 3 wide. We'll drop back a little bit more. Oh no, Josh Robin dropping to the bottom side of the racetrack. Looks like he wants to go. There's a little bit of contact there. We continue on, though. Oh, 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide for the race lead. The 3 car of Gossett will split the field 3 wide. The 03 car of Patterson thought about going with it, but here comes the back and battling back on the bottom.
Patterson gets right up to the back end there of Seth Noel, and he's ready to push that 31 forward. Oh!
He's going to get on that side of the 31 car. That spells trouble. And Noel continues to hold on to that race car cleanly. What a race so far, 22 laps in.
Oh, and into the wall, Seth Noel. That's going to destroy the front end of Patterson's car. But we continue on, I believe. Like everybody will kind of keep going. I think it was just Seth Noel in trouble there.
Yeah, we stayed green flag racing, so no harm, no foul. Seth Noel got up into that wall, but also I believe there was contact with Patterson, I believe, is what we saw that had some damage there. So 23 laps in, and you see now single file in front of the field. We'll see if they stay that way to the stage break.
Seth Noel, that car is destroyed. He's about to be caught by a large pack of vehicles here. But if he can get him to speed here and save that draft, he might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's not long from a caution that's going to come out here when we get to the stage break. So if he can just stay where he's running right now and perhaps make it to pit lane when we get to that point, get some damage fixed up, and hopefully be able to continue on.
Well, we continue on. It is at the front of the field. It is Michael Keithley leading this swing. Jimmy Gregory on the high side. Tommy Gossett not content as the front of this pack has been absolutely incinerated. We still have 6 laps to go this time by the start-finish line, and there's still $10 up for grabs.
Well, hey, you know, it's $10 what I had, so these drivers are running for it right now, and we've got about 7 laps to go until that point. Is there any picks you have before the stage break, Emerson?
Boy, it'd be hard to not go with the driver who's been uber aggressive today in that of the 53 of Michael Keithley. But I think it's actually going to be some of these names that haven't been up here this whole time. I'm going to go with the 89 of Sean Williams. While he's been up here, he's not been at the front of the line really duking it out for that race lead. I think Sean Williams gets it here at the stage.
My pick is going to be that 97 car of Howie Briss sporting an old school Tony Stewart paint scheme. I think Howie Briss, you see him going to the outside right there. He might have some help from this 3 cars. Shove comes. Wow, things might have gotten squirrely right there. I think he gets up there and gets the stage victory.
We're just going to have to wait and see. We continue on. 5 laps to go. This time by the start-finish line, and with the sheer lack of cars up here, it has really calmed down quite a bit. Zach Lindgren has inserted himself into this lead pack, and look at that, fastest lap, last car in the draft. He's there, I believe, with his teammate Jared LaShawn. Things are looking bright for that 85 of Zach Lindgren.
Well, that's where you want to be if you want to put down the quick time, is just pulling up to the back of this lead draft where you get pulled along like a freight train, all the cars in line right here. But equal cars on top and bottom right now. Howie Briss and Michael Keithley battle it out for that top spot.
$10 on the line in about 10 more miles. Howie Briss now coming alive with a push from Tommy Gossett, the 2 of Hayes Booth. In that third car on the outside lane, Sean Williams staying loyal to that orange and green Shrek machine right in front of him of Michael Keithley, to Josh Robin, a player. Daniel Falkingham right off his championship season in these cars. He's going to take it 3 wide in that third row.
3 wide as he'll move up a position right here. That'll drop that 2 car Booth back outside of the top 5 right now as Daniel Falkingham jumps.
Oh, and they're wrecking! Jimmy Gregory goes around. Hayes Booth, Josh Robin, the caution is going to come out and mess on the back straightaway.
Well, I am curious to see what happened right there. It just seemed like things got squirrely right there towards the end of this draft, this first pack. So we'll have to see what caused that wreck, Emerson.
Absolutely, we're going to go ahead and try to grab a replay and see what happened to everything there on the back straightaway. I'm trying to get this queued up correctly, and I'm going to try that one again. Did not get that all the way queued up here. Trying here. Oh no, and I think this is gonna start at the hands of somebody we really don't want to be involved in this one. We're gonna grab, I think we can get it here. Here, let's have to queue this one up. But there's a lot of moving parts on the back straightaway, a lot of runs.
I see right there our boy up into the wall. Not sure how much damage was caused there.
So bad. Please stop removing. Alright, so now we're going to be able to get a look at it here. So this is the start of the lap. Jimmy Gregory. See Daniel Falkingham taking it 3 wide there. Look at Andrew. He gets a little bit of a run here. He peeks to the outside of the 85. A huge run out of back straightaway as Hayes Booth tries to put himself back down in line. A little bit of misjudgment there. Hayes Booth, Jimmy Gregory get together. Andrew goes around. And it looks like, oh, Bobby Chaney got hit there, but a relatively small accident for all the traffic that was around that.
Yeah, it looked like to me that Andrew had a run, and I don't think Booth anticipated that run coming that fast and cut down in front of him, and Andrew really had nowhere to go.
And so there is the wounded 60 of Jimmy Gregory. And we're going to take a quick moment here. Let's see if we can maybe talk to a driver right at the front of this bad boy. Let's see who... looks like, is that Andrew who... Oh, I think Andrew's maybe a lapper here. Yeah, car's coming back down the pit lane. Let's see. Let's see the 92 of Tony Hilbrand's here. I think we're going to get 1 degree here. I'm not quite sure what the stage is going to work out to be here, to where who the stage winner is. Actually, Hilbrand does a wave around. I think that puts Sean Williams as the race leader here. It's going to be Michael Keithley to his outside. But, yeah. We're looking here, getting ready to restart. What you see in that first stage? I think it's going to change here in the second stage. Caleb?
Well, I think that, the first stage was relatively calm there to the end as we worked towards the end of this first stage. Obviously, the caution there at the end. I think this second stage is going to pick up in intensity. I don't think these drivers are just going to be okay with riding how they are. And although the third stage is the longest stage, I think how you set yourself up in this second stage could benefit you most in that third stage. One thing we haven't seen so far in any of these races is one driver get out front and control both lanes, other than that of TCB last week. And it ultimately proved for him to be able to win this race. So if a car can be that dominant and get out there and control the front of this field, I think that could possibly be what wins in this race. And I think all of that starts here in stage number 2.
I couldn't agree more. I absolutely think we're still waiting for that one clear dominant driver. Looks like Michael Keithley started to become that, but not really enough laps to really say that he's going to just go up there and take this race over. But here we go, getting ready to get back to racing. Here it is Sean Williams and Michael Keithley for front row. Let's get back to it. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. Down the back straightaway to Sean Williams in the front of this thing as we work lap 31 of 120. 3 wide for race lead. Falkingham now pushes Michael Keithley on the high side. David Shutt to the rescue on the bottom side.
That 89 car getting a shove from the 5 car of Shutt, trying to push the 89 car of Williams to the lead, but Keithley jumps all the way from top to bottom.
Wow.
We're talking about a driver who has the dominant race car. It might just be that 53 car of Michael Keithley.
So apologies for all the technical difficulties. Looks like we've gotten that worked out. We should be A-okay moving forward. That first stage was a little rough on this end. But continuing on, Michael Keithley, Sean Williams still that front row. David Shutt still blinking a little bit, trying to see if he can maybe clean that up. He might be able to really be a force to be reckoned with. People will be more willing to work with him if he can clean up that blinking issue. But until then, not many people are going to go with him if he decides to make a move.
Yeah, no doubt about that, as Daniel Falkingham pushes Howie Briss to the front of this field. Michael Keithley still there on the bottom with Sean Williams, the duo pair that's been good. But my pick for the night, Daniel Falkingham, is pushing that 97 car, Howie Briss out front. A good run so far for Daniel Falkingham. We haven't seen him get to this point in these races so far, but right now he's doing quite a good job in front of this field.
And now that we really can see this, I want to take a look and see what's going on towards the back of this pack. Look, this is Jared Darling. He is 9th. There's only about 11 cars in this lead pack, and we're going to find Hayes Booth. Femi Olot, by the way, is back here as well. But other than that, everybody is very much in a single file line way back in this pack. Oh, by the way, remember about this 25 car who was lapped? Oh yeah, this guy who might have done something last ago. I don't know, sweep all the stages and win the race. He's back on the lead lap in 15th of TCB. But the point I'm trying to make here is there's a lot of big names back here that aren't up there really mixing it up as opposed to what we saw in the truck race last week.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we saw in the truck race last week, Emerson, and that's these big early crashes and these drivers not want to be any part of that. But you have to decide here, would you rather race up front early and perhaps crash it early, or save it to the end and it be a heck of a run for the finish? Because I can assure you, it doesn't matter whether it's the beginning of the race or the end of the race, cautions are going to happen here at Daytona. And like you said earlier, this race is going to get wild as we get closer to the finish. So you might be buying your time here, but at the same time, you could be setting yourself up for defeat because these wrecks are going to happen at some point.
Take a look from on board the 97 of Howie Briss, looking back at Sean Williams' Chevrolet Swift Camaro, taking to the track in that Taylor Swift themed machine. David Shutt there on the second car in the outside lane, and look at it. It is the defending NORC iRacing Series, the Season 13 champion, That season they raced Xfinity Series cars. Daniel Falkingham, 10 wins to his name in that season alone, leading the Xfinity race here at Daytona.
Well, he's pulling the inside bottom lane there with Michael Keithley back behind him. He's got a good partner behind him. That is Keithley with Briss there, and Williams also in that bottom lane. I got to say, a lot of heavy hitters down there in that bottom lane. But just as I say that, the 5 car of Schutt pulls to the front.
David Schutt, also one of those drivers who can really turn the heat on any moment he'd like. And look who's worked his way up here, the 25 of TCB. He wasted no time getting to the front of this lead pack 3rd car on the outside lane.
Side pulling to the front of this field. David Schutt, with only 2 cars back behind him, is competing with a whole plethora of cars on the inside lane. Quite impressive, if you ask me. 24 car Daniel Falkingham, though, got something to say about that as they're side by side still for the race lead.
On board with TCB, you get to see just how much speed gets picked up when you're a 3rd car in line. He came off the corner at 186 miles an hour. He's actually lifting here in the middle of the pack. That's actually something a lot of drivers don't do. I think you'll see that with maturity of plate racers on iRacing. You learn that you don't have to be full throttle down the straightaways and lift into the corners. If you more or less run half throttle all the way around the racetrack, you don't have to do as much lifting. And you're going to see that here. TCB's speed fluctuates. He gets a little bit of speed here down the back straightaway, but he doesn't really crack much higher. Now he's going to get cut off here. Tommy Gossett jumps up behind, out of the way of the blinking 5 of David Schutt. TCB now moves the 2nd car in that middle outside lane.
Things got quite testy right there. But nonetheless, we continue to roll on here. Still double file. Everybody just following in line. Nobody stepping out of line right now. We come across the stripe, complete lap number 37.
37 laps complete. That means there is still 93 laps to go here at Daytona. It is David Schutt taking the lead. He jumps out in front of TCB. A little sideways now in front of Daniel Falkingham. This is going to cause an accident. 3 wide. He's sent to the sucker hole. TCB jumps around him. Tommy Gossett to lead the outside lane. My goodness, how did they not wreck?
That was the biggest question I had, was how is that not a they still race 3 wide? Nobody backing down but Daniel Falkingham with Michael Keithley and Howie Briss pull that inside lane. All 3 cars clear for the race lead.
Unfortunately, there is someone who's about to have a good view of the lead pack, and it is not by choice. We're going to go ahead and see if we can hear from the 22 of Andrew Carnelli, the 4th. Bud, you got a lot of cars approaching at a high rate of speed. What's happening?
Don't remind me. We took a little longer under the pit stop than we wanted to, that's for sure. Just probably stayed 10 more seconds than I could have probably caught those guys while they were restarting. And, well, you know, it was necessary for repairs. And we're going to
Oh, and just what you want to hear as well, the lead pack has been absolutely intense since the drop of the 2nd stage green flag. David Schutt drops to the bottom side. Looks like he wants to drop back. But there's still a lot of action going on at the front of this pack. Howie Briss to the lead. What lane are you going to elect, Mr. Lapcar?
We're going to hold right here on the double.
Let's see a response from the pack. Everybody tries to squeeze into those 2 outside lanes, hold it down their driver. Looks like everybody will walk away very cleanly. You missed getting lapped?
Well, okay. No, I did do a fair amount of that in my career, but no, just the stress, like the adrenaline picking up when you've got the whole pack out there like that, you miss that after a while.
Well, Andrew, I got to ask you, after being involved in that last caution, how does the car feel after those repairs? You said you took a little bit longer, but how does it feel after getting these repairs made in this car?
Oh, fine. None of it isn't too bad. Their contact with hate that I got loose and all that. I was trying to go. David coming up, trying to go. And he popped down in front of me. He opened the door just enough. Like, it looked like he was going to give the room back open. I put my nose there and he pulled it back up. Unfortunately, I'm racing. I probably should have laid back, but it's not the place race here for fun. And that's what it is. Also, you can see, hi, Emerson and Caleb.
Hello, Andrew.
I didn't even notice that. That's amazing.
Right there on the valve. This is fun. I have this opportunity to have some fun with these guys and have some fun with it. It's something everybody needs every once in a while. So, in the meantime, I know this isn't ideal to be one lap down, but kind of big range. One lap down to one car right now out of the draft. There's a couple further back that might, by the end of the stage, if they have bad luck. And of course, we could have crashes that maybe don't bring out yellows like we did in stage 1, but otherwise, I'm currently one lap down. So lucky dog is coming for me.
So that Cody Lamas might have just lost the draft. But other than that, looks like that is going to hold. There's still 18 laps until that start finish line. So the stage break, we'll see what happens, Andrew. Looks like things are starting to tame out a little bit at the front of this pack. So I guess right time for you to join the lead pack.
Well, it wouldn't sound like it. Listen to the old guys with me. I'll tell you that. Radioactive is going to be fun.
Oh, I cannot wait to hear that.
Oh, wait. We got a plane approaching.
Oh, yep. There it is in the frame.
400 miles an hour, because that's approach speed. Shout out to the Reddit user who had that on there. But yeah, as far as the race, it's a lot of fun, guys. There shouldn't be too much as far as strategy. Really, it's going to be a matter of like last week with the trucks, right, where we had that run to the end. If we do go to the end, that's where we might have strategy. Obviously, right now, these stages fall perfectly within the fuel range, so I really don't think we're going to see a whole lot of craziness. I guess we'll see probably craziness in this stage. There's money on the line, right? What is it, $10 for a stage winner? But after that, it's going to be a matter of getting to the end. And, I mean, it's NORC, right? You never know what to expect. It's either going to be clean and green, or we're going to have cautions the whole way. And we haven't yet. You make your own conclusions from there.
Well, are you surprised that we haven't had any yellows? You kind of expect the Xfinity Series car to have those high closing rates and the real great draftability of the Green National Series.
Yes and no. These cars are actually one of the most stable on a plate track. I know if you really muscle up and get real sideways, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that if we haven't already, but I'm running this race because I wanted to come back for one, and this was the one that I felt most comfortable in. I was talking with you guys earlier. This is just the one car that I feel most comfortable in at Daytona and Talladega. I don't know what it is. It's pretty stable. The trucks kind of feel happy almost. They feel like they're way more I feel like monster trucks at Daytona, and that's not a good feeling. You want to feel like you're in the track. You want to feel stable. And yeah, the trucks don't do that. And of course, I didn't want to get the 500. We've got to be a minute for you guys for that one this week. But these cars are finished. I think that was fair to say. They're either great or they're not.
Well, there it is. Straight from the mouth of one of the drivers in the middle of this pack with 22, Andrew Carnelli, one of our own. Of course, the man who runs this show.
Have you guys brought up the stats yet? You guys put me down on my grade?
I brought up lap sled.
Yeah, 23 laps left. I don't know if that's going up or just trying to make it not 15 minutes, like, so we're trying. You know what? If I only go to the back end of stage 2, you do the math first back.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, you talked about how you're not sure if 24 laps is what you're going to get to tonight on Black Flag. Realistically, Andrew, that's all we need you to get to. Lead that last one, bring home the victory for everybody at Pit Stop TV, and get to that lap number 24 mark.
You're right. That's the goal. We'll see how it goes. I mean, you kind of have to be ready to traffic really fast. And practice is not a great way to do it because everybody messes around in practice. So there's nothing like the race because you're going to get to speed in a hurry. And that first run was exactly that. It was a wreck that we had to miss. Thankfully I did. Until I was in it. We'll see how it goes. Humble the center on the outside. Following Jared was on. Last race was the race game. I've known that guy for years. This is the first time I've been racing with him. We got Aaron Smith, Mike Pick on the second time. We got Mike Pick up there. Aaron's going to get him tonight.
Aaron Smith, the pole sitter of tonight's race, putting himself back into the mix into the lead pack. All right, Andrew, we're going to lead you back to it and continue to watch as a spectator in the car.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. We'll check out the vlog.
Oh, here we go. I wanted to hear all the clarity going on. We'll put you back up there.
We'll see, buddy.
Oh, that's amazing. You just don't get to.
No, I mean, it's a luxury that we get to have, so we might as well use it for this week while we have it. We're hoping that Andrew can stay in this lucky dog position and perhaps get that lap back and see him make a run to the finish.
Down the back straightaway. Look at that guy. That was a driver who was a lap down last stage. TCB is leading this race with Daniel Falkingham in tow.
Daniel Falkingham does pull tight to his bumper on the bottom side of that racetrack. Both of those drivers, these past 8 or so laps, have been able to stay right there in the first and second position. Michael Keithley there on the outside. So I'd have to say this top 4 has been up there, it seems, the majority of this race, with TCB obviously being a lap down, but since then pulling along quite nicely. Daniel Falkingham there in second, Keithley there in third, and Howie Briss in fourth.
Someone's name I haven't really mentioned today is that 12 of Spencer Owens, getting that outside lane moving in that beautiful number 12 machine. I wanted to try to get another look at it here. Look at that beautiful snap-on Penske scheme. That is a beautiful 12 car if I've seen one, and glad to see him up here. It's been a minute since we've also really seen him do battle with these old boys up here in the mix, in the top 10, and in about 11 laps time, might have a chance at $10 as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting closer to that second stage in, and then it's going to be a race to the finish. Here comes that 12 car of Spencer Owens, who shoots up to the pack as Michael Keithley will drift a little bit back. But we continue to race on here with Daniel Falkingham. I don't want to jump out and say this, but maybe Emerson, is he that dominant car we were talking about possibly seeing? He's pulling that inside lane pretty well.
Well, I think of anybody in this pack who could do it. There's only a few names I think that can do it and be completely 100% confident in every move they do up there. 2 of those drivers are first and second right now. But Daniel Falkingham definitely would be a driver after the dominating season he had last season, and just, I mean, he's such a good iRacer. I've seen him in the official races, and he blows people out of the water. He just knows what he's doing. No, it's just pixels and sim rigs, but these are some specific pixels, and he knows what he's doing with them.
Yeah, note about that as you see the TCV car go to the outside. He'll have help from Howie Briss.
Oh.
Those drivers going to leave the 20 car of Falkingham a little bit hung out to dry, but he will get that help from the 89 car of Sean Williams and fall there third in line. Howie Briss now stuck up there by himself, but Michael Keithley comes to help.
Tommy Gossett inserts himself into the mix, drops down, second car on the inside lane. And I do want to shout out everybody out in chat tonight. Give me one moment, we will get that done. But so far, TCB rocking everything at the front of this pack and continue to do so. Tommy Gossett has been a huge player in this pack as well. Let's go ahead and see the chat room. How about James Wormsley out there in the chat? Supporting. Brendan Kennedy's out there as well. Glad to see all the support tonight for tonight's NORCTONA 300. Continue on. We got 8 laps to go in this stage, this time by the start-finish line.
3 car of Gossett sets himself out front, but we'll see if TCB wants to ride there. We see the 20 car of Daniel Falkingham push that 25 car of TCB up to the top of the racetrack. The 20 car of Falkingham will fill that hole at the bottom of the racetrack as they continue to race into turns 1 and 2.
Lori Booth out in the chat, supporting Hayes Booth tonight. Glad to see you join us tonight for some NORCTONA action. Continuing on, Aaron Smith returns to the front of this pack. There's now 8 cars distinctly in this lead pack. Tommy Gossett heads this pack. Hummel, you saw him kind of drive by Andrew there towards the middle of the pack. He is slowly but surely creeping his way up that scoring ladder. Look at him here. He's looking for a top 5 right here to get by the 97 of Howie Briss.
Yeah, I mean, trying to get by Howie Briss right there into this top 5. Not going to make it happen just yet. Michael Keithley, I believe, just got up into the wall. Not 100% sure on that, but he definitely got way up racetrack there, Emerson.
Yeah, he was way up there. If he didn't get the wall, maybe a little bit of a scare. He's going to have to reset and get another stab at it. How about Sean Williams losing a little bit of traction there off of turn 2? He went down to the bottom side. It is so easy to do when you're tucked up in these cars. Something that I personally struggle with at plate tracks at Daytona is when you're so aggressively pushing the car in front of you. Sometimes especially on that bottom side, sometimes it's a little easy to lose sight of where you are on the racetrack. You can't really see, over your hood, over their spoiler, their rear end. You can't really always see that yellow line, so you don't know if you're always above or below that yellow line if the driver in front of you is all over the place. Now, Daniel Falkham, he's very consistent with his line. But, when you're tucked up in a pack of cars, you don't really know where you are. You're just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah, no doubt about that. As we ride right here, Falkingham and Baker continue to battle. One car up on the top side. And what's so surprising to me is that Falkingham has all the help on the bottom of the racetrack, whereas TCB only has one car behind him, and he's still able to make that outside lane work.
What's about the consistent help? Howie Briss, he times his runs out of the corners to be right up on the rear end of TCB and give him as much help as he can through the oval, while Tommy Gossett, he's just kind of off and on there. It's not as consistent as Daniel Falkingham would like. He's there, but because he might have to lift a little bit into the corners, or he's a little off center, the help isn't as consistent, while TCB is able to rally on the straightaways. And now Howie Briss gets pushed at a line. How about the 9 of Patrick Colby? He's 2 laps down. He's trying to get one of those laps the hard way.
Yeah, he is trying to get one of these laps, like you said, the hard way. And how that's going to happen is if he can get to the front of this field as the stage break closes, the 20 car of Daniel Falkingham jumps up to the top of the racetrack. And that move almost proved to be costly. As you can tell, the intensity is picking up as we get close to the final end of this second stage.
You saw the field start to check up there. Everyone started to get right up along one another's rear ends there. Patrick Colby, by the way, if it wasn't clear enough earlier, he had an off earlier off of turn 4 in the first stage. He went around, he spun onto the pit lane, probably had a speeding penalty and a penalty for an unsafe pit entry, and then also took service as well. So that's how he ended up 2 laps down. But he's trying to get one of those back right now. And yeah, coming around at 3 laps to go in this stage. $10 are on the line. Keithley trying to put himself back in the mix. I don't recall exactly who was the stage winner, because I don't know if the rule was when the caution came out or when they went green, because technically there was about 600 feet before the completion of lap 30 where the field went green, and I believe that was Sean Williams at that point who was the leader. We'll see, I guess, what Revin says post-race. But for now, let's just assume this is just going to be $10 for somebody up here trying to add to their wallets.
The 20 car of Daniel Falkingham now pulls the bottom lane. He has really proven himself to be the driver out front. It doesn't matter how many times he falls back, even a couple cars, he continues to pull out front. He starts to get a challenge from that 3 car of Gossett, and the whole field draws to their back bumpers here with 3 laps to go in stage number 2.
84 Cody Lamas is now 1 lap down, which that's going to send some shockwaves into Andrew Cardinale to 4th camp if he's going to get the lucky dog to the front vote. Tommy Gossett dives out from behind the 20 of Falkingham. He's got help from TCB. 2 laps for $10.
25 car of TCB going to give a shot to that 3 car of Gossett, trying to push him out front. Can't get by him though. He'll just ride in line inside behind that number 3 car of Gossett. Here comes Sean Williams. Now TCB jumps to the outside. He'll peek his nose out front for the race lead.
Daniel Falkingham with a huge head of steam to the rear end of the 25. And here we go, now working our way around. This time by will be the final lap in stage number 2. As they come around, they're going to start that final lap. And there's that 03 of Dylan Patterson. He's also laps down. Actually, I don't believe he is. I think he may be on the lead lap. Trying to see. But anyway, the final lap of stage number 2 commences. It's TCB, Tommy Goss at the front, Daniel Falkingham and Sean Williams pushing.
Well, all these drivers are going for the money here at the end of this stage, but you don't want to do something that could cost you from the big prize at the end of this race. Like that right there, the 3 car jumps down the bottom of the racetrack, almost causes a caution. Battle is on.
Oh, baby.
Falkingham to the bottom of the racetrack. TCB throws the block.
Patterson is a lap down. Now it's Falkingham. TCB, they're going to wreck behind. Tommy Gossett tried to get back in front of Sean Williams, but it's the drag race for the stage win. Patrick Colby trying to push TCB. Falkingham is going to be on the outside, side by side to the line. Caution is out, and TCB will win the stage.
Wow. What a run there for TCB, making his presence known, and he picks up yet another stage win here on Pit Stop TV.
And a mess to go decipher at the back of this pack. And we're going to go try to do that. Let's go see what happened between Tommy Gossett, Sean Williams, and company. Okay, so here was down the back straightaway. Catch it with Tommy Gossett here. And he's just getting a great shove into the corner. Just went up a little bit, Sean Williams. Andrew, oh no, Andrew and Jimmy Gregory again. Unbelievable.
No doubt about that. I mean, like I said, you know, you are racing for some stage points, or not stage points, stage money here. But you don't want to do something that's going to cost you later in this race. Some of these drivers might have just done that.
We're going to see it here. And into the corner. A little too aggressive of a push. And, oh, Hummel sends Cardinale into the wall. Gregory spins. There goes Patterson and Cody Lamas. All three drivers competing for the lucky dog. All wrecked there. So there's going to be no lucky dog. Oh, no. Unbelievable. So, all of those cars were lapped. That's 4 people who were competing for the lucky dog. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, no. I am not believing this.
Oh, a weird change of events right there. I mean, I wouldn't have said all 3 cars might have gotten involved in that, and they all 3 dang sure did.
Well, there is somebody that I've been wanting to talk to, and it's this driver. He has been through a lot. Let's see if we can also get a word in with him. I want to bring up driver of the number 2, Hayes. Booth Hayes. It has been absolutely wild out there. But what have you been able to see? You've been you were involved in that first accident. You're right back up here and ready to do battle for the stage victory here at the end of stage 2. But what's it been like?
Well, I've noticed that since that first wreck happened, I've been a little bit down on power. Not so much to where I'm, just not a contender. I can keep up. It's just harder to make moves. So that's gonna hold me back a little bit. But yeah, it got pretty hectic there at the end of the last stage. So we're gonna try to stay up here at the front and just hopefully not wreck.
Fair enough, Hayes. And you're 4th here, or I think you're going to shake out to be 5th here. No, that's Patrick Colby as lap down. You're going to be 4th here on this restart. 60 laps now here for stage number 3. What is the game plan? You plan to stay up here? Do you plan to drop back?
Yeah, really just planning on staying up here as long as I can, and just really seeing what happens. It's been hectic for the first 60 laps, so I don't expect that to change in these last 60 laps. So really, I'm just going to try to stay up here as long as I can and hope nothing happens.
Hey, fair enough. Hayes, so the craziness it's been in the first stage, in the first 2 stages. Here we go, a wild 3rd stage, potentially honor plates. Best of luck to you in the final 150 miles, Hayes. Before we let you go, we'll give you the opportunity to shout out whoever get a shout out. Thank you, whoever get a thank. Getting you in this position.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at Walter Esports, JC Graphics, EPI, Bob Boyd Honda, all those guys over there, my parents for watching, John for putting this awesome lead together. It's been a pleasure to be in these last few races. So, yeah, and you guys at Pit Stop TV for broadcasting.
Absolutely. Go get him out there, driver. And, yeah, wish you the best for you. Hopefully we talk to you on the far side.
All right, thank you guys.
driver of the number 2, Hayes Booth. Again, he'll be starting to the outside of row number 2. It'll be TCB, Daniel Falkingham, row number 1. And it'll be Howie Briss and Hayes Booth, row number 2. But we're getting ready to do battle once again here at Daytona. The field is doubled up. We're ready to go. There's a lot of single file cars and people trying to get lined up there in the rest of the pack. But we're going to get back to racing here at Daytona. Green flag is back in the air. Back to action once again. At the front of this pack, it is still 200-mile-per-hour pace laps. Now, Hayes Booth has lost a little bit of ground, but it's still Falkingham up there. Now pushing the 97 of Howie Briss to the front.
Howie Briss will get the shot to the race lead right here as we complete lap 64. Jump to lap 65 now. Howie Briss jumps to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Danny Falkingham on the top of the racetrack with the 3-car of Gossett pulling behind him.
Down the back straightaway we go. We'll see what Gossett can do after being involved in that accident. Doesn't look like he's too damaged. But now we're going to start seeing some names up in the front of this pack that we haven't talked about all day. Insert 74 of John Berry. He's now gotten 2 podiums in these in now 3 races. Looking to see what he can do in this 4th race, just outside the top 10 in his number 74.
Well, he wants obviously to get a win here in these final NORC races as he rides behind that Shrek machine of Michael Keithley up there in the top lane. Everybody staying double file. No one yet jumps 3 wide, and I think that's a safe bet for now.
TCB, Howie Briss up, TCB, Daniel Falkingham. You're going to hear those names a lot at the front of this field. TCB, we saw what he did in these trucks. These Xfinity cars, I know Andrew just described a whole bunch of differences, but when it comes down to it, you're still drafting boxy stock vehicles at 190 miles an hour. And TCB, we just saw what he could do in that last Tuesday.
Well, he's put himself in a position to do it again now, Emerson. Could we see TCB go back-to-back? We saw him get the first win of his NORC career last week. Perhaps see him pick up his second tonight. I know we would all love to see that. Obviously, we're big TCB fans, as much of the people who are watching are. So watching him at the front of the field compete with last year's champion Daniel Falkingham shows how good of a race car driver TCB really is.
Absolutely. And TCB, again, got his first first NORC win on Pit Stop TV last Tuesday. Has this opened the door for so much more in these final 2 races now. Howie Briss gets cleared that outside lane. He jumps up. Josh Robin now going to be the driver slated to push the 25 machine. 3 wide towards the back of this lead pack. It's Aaron Smith trying to get something moving. The bull sitter way out there. Now somebody else jumps up. Looks like that'll be, I believe, I can't make out who that is. That's somebody dropping way back. That's a 68 of Tom Mercier, I believe, and that is.
Well, it seems like if you want to keep the field from checking up or wrecking, whenever you get a move like get a push like Howie Briss did right there, you've got to take it wherever it leads you. And right now, it's led him to that outside lane, battling TCB for the race lead.
A little bit of a wiggle there from the outside lane. Howie Briss, maybe a little too much of a push, too hard of a push from Daniel Falkingham up off the corner. Continue on double wide at the front of this pack, and it's double wide for goodness about 5, 6, 7 rows deep.
It's the most cars we've seen in this pack since the beginning of this race. Right now, everybody playing clean so far. Like I said, nobody jumping to 3 wide, but right now Howie Briss is going to get pushed out ahead. We'll see if he goes to the bottom of the racetrack. He does. He will jump in front of TCB as ahead of
Falkingham and Gossett now leading the charge to the outside lane. John Barry, he lost out in a photo finish last week. He's up to 8th now, trying to see if he can improve upon that one spot short he was. Continuing on. Now, 50 laps to go. I'm sorry, 51 laps to go here at Daytona. Coming around to 50 laps to go. 69 down, 51 to go. A lot of racing, but we still have that. We still have one pit stop slated in this race, and it can be very much a green flag pit stop. We saw last week these drivers really didn't get too crazy in that third stage until after green flag pit stops. So there's just so many more vehicles still left in this race. There's still 22 drivers in the lead pack.
Yeah, I mean, we're not necessarily saying it's going to go the exact same way, but it could be in best interest for these drivers to start making deals now to figure out when everybody wants to pit, to keep your car safe so that everybody can set themselves up for that run to the victory. Right now, you know you're going to have to pit once, so you might as well make it to that point so you can run to the finish.
So we look at that and we think, you know, these cars, let's say 35 laps comfortably on a tank of virtual Sunoco race fuel. Well, that's what these drivers are going to be looking at then. What is 35 laps to go? That's going to be, well, that's going to be lap 85 in this race. At that point, then, we're looking at, you know, from the drop of the stage, green to 65, so that you can run 20 laps before making your first pit stop from the green flag of the stage. But do you want to do that short pit, take less fuel, or do you want to run as long as you can in the pack, potentially have a longer pit stop, but then obviously have to, I mean, I guess you can take the same amount of fuel nonetheless. But if you run in the pack, you're running faster lap times, where if you're running in the smaller pack, it may be harder to get those consistently fast lap times.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Strategy, strategy, strategy. I'm sure that's the talk between these drivers right now. Still might be a good little ways out from pitting, but you never know when these talks are going to start for these pit stops. But the field seems to be mellowed out right now. Nobody making any drastic moves, which I think is to be expected at the end of this portion of the race, where we're not to the end yet, where it's super intense, but we're also past both of these stages.
Oh, there's poor Andrew getting lapped once again, and the pack that's starting to really wind up some energy. The front is pack, Falkingham, Howie Briss now lead that outside lane charge. Tommy Gossett and Keithley picking up that outside lane.
Well, they do pick up that energy right there on that top side. Daniel Falkingham trying to get back to this race lead. Contact made. A save there by TCB. He'll hold on to it. Shoots down the Talladega super stretch. Holds on to it. No harm, no foul. He will survive and continue to roll on. No caution, but things got testy there, Emerson.
Oh, and there's now contact. Sean Williams and TCB, and they save it again. Oh my goodness. Amazing catches from both of them twice now, and here comes some darts to the inside. That's Tom Mercier avoiding that action there. Oh my goodness.
Well, it has separated TCB from that front pack after all that, along with Sean Williams and a couple of other drivers. Perhaps that's a good thing for them. You know, they continue to ride on in a little bit of a safer spot and set these drivers single file out front, which has calmed things down a little bit. But now if you're TCB, maybe that changes the strategy of what you want to do on pit road.
And likewise up here, if everybody in this top 5, if they can coordinate all of them to pit on the same lap, you're already running single file together. Might as well come and pit as soon as possible, right? And try to keep that going. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe they just want to run as many laps as they can, hope for some yellows. I mean, we've seen a lot of action so far, but not a lot of accidents. Continue on. Up here, it's only Briss, Falkingham, Keithley, Booth, and Gossett, the top 5. There was also Robin up there. I believe he's lost since touch with this lead pack. Gossett. Now, this is what I don't quite understand. At this point of the race, there's only 5 of you up here. You have the opportunity to kind of shut the rest of this race out from this battle and just make it a 5-horse race. But Gossett wants to still race from that 5th position.
Yeah, I mean, you can take the this car out of that position and you see him jump to that outside lane. I mean, he doesn't have any help, so I'm not sure where he's going. I think he's hoping if maybe he can get side by side with Keithley, he'll get that help from Booth. But right now, he just tries the top lane. Maybe his car is better out in the wind, getting some clean air on that nose. Not sure, but like you said, you have a chance to pull away from the rest of this field if this 5 stays together. And right now, he continues to try and jump to that outside.
And I think with all that side draft with Hayes Booth, look at the pack. I mean, now it's also just a monster pack in massive numbers. But look at Tommy Gossett now. He's dropped from the lead pack. He's dropped back. He's going to try to orchestrate a run here to get power around these 4. This is tactically being done by Tommy Gossett, but he's not going to be able to do so with cars to his outside. And look who's starting to come to the front. Along with John Barry, it is Femi Olot making his appearance into the top 10.
Well, he's been buying his time this whole time of this race, kept his nose clean, hasn't been involved in any trouble, sporting that Interstate Batteries number 18 machine as he marches towards the front. He was your pick to win, and he could be the guy as he gives a shove. They're racing to the lead here, pushes John Barry out front.
Moving forward is that number 18 of Femi Olot. Trying to get what he can. John Barry now drops to the bottom side there at the front of this pack. And now those 5 drivers, they get swallowed up by this pack. Falkingham and Briss, they still have their remnants up there. They're still 2nd and 3rd on that inside lane, but everybody else is kind of fizzled into the rest of this pack. Femi Olot is clear to the lead. Tommy Gossett trying to tactically work his way from 5th in that single file train to the front. He's gained a spot out of it. He's leading that outside lane. I just don't know if he can power past John Barry and Femi Olot. He's going to need a lot of help. I don't know if Mercier, TCB is up there. That could be a great push as well, but I think they're going to need a few more cars. But just the consistency of Barry and Olot at the front of the inside lane. And now Mercier jumps out.
Yeah, no doubt that they're going to have help, but I'm curious now to see how dominant of car Femi Olot has out front. We see drivers sliding across the racetrack, and just when we thought things were starting to calm down, that move by the 3-car of Gossett to continue to pull out a line was strategic enough to pull the rest of that pack close to the front of the field. And now, like you said, we have a bit of a monster pack racing here as we completed lap 78 of this 120-lap race.
Now, this is something. Now, what this is doing, you're going to see John start to panic a little bit behind Olot, but John Barry has been glued to that 18 car since he's dropped down in front of him. Now John is starting to panic a little bit. He's trying to get some air to that nose. You see him a little bit off center down the straightaway. He's just trying to get some air. He has been glued to that 18 car since Femi dropped down there. Here comes Falkingham now for a run from Gossett.
Gossett is cracking into this top 5, holding that position right there up on the outside lane. 2nd in line, pushing Daniel Falkingham. And how about this, Emerson? Daniel Falkingham, Femi Olot battling for the race lead. 2 of the best in the business right here on Pit Stop TV, racing hard for the victory in this one.
Definitely can classify both of these drivers as 2 of some of the best iRacers in oval on iRacing. Femi's actually going to drop out of this lead pack, or at least the lead, and drop back. I don't think he was ready to mix it up just yet. Maybe he's waiting for his first pit stop before, in this stage before he does that. But now Tommy Gossett, through all that hooting and hollering, he may just take this lead away. But TCB and Falkingham, that is a power duo up on the top side.
Well, consider it a power trio now, as that 97 car of Howie Briss has jumped to the outside lane. He'll help that outside charge, and he's got Michael Keithley there also helping. 4 strong cars in that outside lane, not able to get completely out front yet, but they're definitely putting a good foot forth here in that outside lane, battling the bottom lane of Gossett.
Hayes Booth returns to action at the front of this field, and there's Andrew Cardinale to 4. Let's see if he can keep this bad boy in the draft. He said it's broke. I don't know if that thing's going to be carrying much speed. Let's see if we can catch up with our journeyman up there. Oh no, and there's a crash right as we're getting ready to talk to him. Oh no! More contact around, and that's... Are we gonna stay green with that? I think we're gonna stay green Roll it at John Barry's front end is destroyed, Andrew. Well, what did you just see? There's the caution.
A whole lot of crashing, and Sheldon Lockheed decided to clip the right front of the car again.
Wow, that was all happening so quickly. We were just setting up the opportunity to try to hear from you again as we saw you get lapped in this pack and just how badly damaged the car was. We're going to go ahead and try to see what happened at the front of this pack. Oh, looks like Tommy Gossett contact with John Barry, and that's going to send most of the field around. Hayes Booth, heavy damage. Several cars around. I guess iRacing did not determine that all of that was on the racing surface, or the racing surface got cleared quick enough that there was no need for a yellow, and I'd imagine that yellow was just called by John at that point, or one of the other race controllers.
Well, with 83 laps here down, you know, you got to expect that something like this was coming, Emerson. I mean, we've had some long green flag runs today and not many cautions, but I got a feeling that's going to change here in these closing laps.
Here we go. This is going to do it here. This overhead shot. We're going to see what happened here into turn 3. John is all over the rear end of Tommy Gossett into the corner, and Gossett, well, he just got sideways entering the corner. If in fixed setups, I don't quite understand how you do that. Jared was Sean heavy damage in that wreck as well. Another relatively small accident for the amount of cars out there on the track, but some big hits this time.
Yeah, big contact for the cars that were involved right there, which means big damage. We'll have to see how they're able to repair these cars. Man, I got to ask Emerson, I'm almost positive now with a pit stop here into this yellow, this would put us in our pit window, correct?
I can confirm that for you, Caleb. Yes, we had just hit our pit window. In fact, I was coming to the pit lane that lap because I had hit my pit window. I was going to get all the damage repaired, go back out there once I was good to the end. And, yep, we had just cleared pit window.
Well, good deal. It's always nice to have an ace in the hole there with Andrew riding on board. Andrew, obviously not the way things have wanted to go for you this race so far, but how's things shaking out for you?
3 laps down, just gonna try and get some yeah, not the greatest way to end time, but it's been fun at the very least.
We're gonna get a replay of this wreck now from your onboard. And as this happens, as the pack laps you, what's going through your mind? I know you're like 20 miles per hour off the pace, just trying to stay out of everyone's way, and then everybody comes right back to you.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, well, actually, when they started crashing, let's try to see if I can stay in the throttle, right? And then there's clearly cars sideways, and all that happens. And then I'm actually going to go back and see what happened with you guys as far as Sheldon Lockheed, because that's more damage I got to fix than I didn't need to fix before.
Well, yeah, there's a look at the 22 on the pit lane. It's been a tough day. I think every accident today, the 22's been somewhere around in that.
Don't tell me that.
Well, I'm not saying everything was your fault. I'm just.
Well, hey, here's your chance, real quick, Emerson. Go ahead and take the onboard. You can kind of see the pit sign.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot there was a surprise for us.
Moving back up for you a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
You look up there?
Can you read that, Caleb?
Oh yeah, hi Emerson and Caleb.
Oh, there it is. Oh, and there's Hayes right in front of you. Oh man.
Now we've got, let's see, 2 to green now. I think it's, no, 1 to green. We just got 1 to green. I am what? 4 laps down now, probably? No, I think we're still 3 actually.
3.
Still 3. I got a race with Tony Hillbrands. We got John and Patrick 1 lap down. Let's see. If I can get up there, I'll take you through a restart. That is if we're competitive. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I got to say, I think you're the best car that is 3 laps down out there right now, so put a feather in your cap there.
Well, that's the hope. That is certainly the hope. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I join you guys at the back end of the race. I don't know. Not the greatest, but that is Daytona. You know, that's North Daytona. That's the risk you take just entering one of these races. I mean, everything is so wild, and obviously everybody here knows how these races go. That is That is kind of the glory of it all. I don't think we're going to be all that competitive. If it's way off base, we'll probably park it here in a little bit just to not be in the way when it comes down to checkers. But it's been fun at the very least, getting back out there, racing with guys again. You know, even if it's short-lived, it's irreplaceable, right? So if the league is going to take a downturn or end, it's at least good to do one more time.
Absolutely. It's good to see you get back out there with your buds and, you know, group you race with for so long. We're getting ready to go back to green here, Vo. We'll leave you here so you can go through a restart with us. But 35 laps to go when we go green, just inside the field window for these Xfinity Series cars. Tommy Gossett, Michael Keithley, Howie Briss, Tom Mercier, David Shutt, the top 5. The iRacing.com safety truck enters the pit lane, and we are back to racing at Daytona. Yet another plane lands at the back straightaway runway. Sunset falls upon the racing surface. 35 laps left to do it. Some cars taken to the apron to try to find their way back in the pack. They're 3 wide in front of the pack.
3 wide at the front of the field as they race through turns 3 and 4. Now that'll shuffle out with Gossett out front and Howie Briss there in second up on the top side lane. Can Howie Briss lead this lap coming down here to the stripe? Howie Briss will lead lap number 86 as we roll on to lap number 87.
Can you keep in that track? I think we might have lost at this point.
Yeah, it's not looking great. I mean, if I had gotten a slightly better restart there, maybe, but we had Patrick Colby on the apron just checking up, trying to get us by, and yeah, it's not looking good.
That is unfortunate. Howie Briss now takes the point. A push from TCB to the top side, and TCB wants to get rocking on that top side. He's got Josh Robin behind him as well. 5 cars now starting to power tandem up there. Falkingham, the 5th in line there. Keithley, who's been a mainstay up at the front of this pack. But on the inside, Sean Williams staying loyal to the 3 of Tommy Gossett. Jared was Sean trying to make something happen with Zach Lindgren behind. And now Keithley gets shuffled out by Falkingham. Here comes Hilbrands.
Hilbrands on.
Well, he's 3 laps down.
Well, he is, but he's still racing in this pack like he's not, so creds to him. But Howie Briss there on the outside lane. He's another car that's been up here all night, and so we're starting to see this theme of cars that have been dominating. He's got a helper, that TCB. They both move to the bottom of the racetrack. No harm, no foul. They'll command this bottom lane now.
To the bottom side, they break up the amazing quintet of cars up on the top side. It's now Josh Robin, all the might, the 20 of Falkingham, going through that purple number 8 as they continue to roar on that outside lane. Sean Williams has now since dropped off the rear bumper of Tommy Gossett. He's still behind him, but not pushing him as much as he'd like. Now that new couple drivers have jumped to the front of the inside lane. It's like really only TC and Falkingham, which kind of been seen all day, are really the only 2 real drivers really trying to really push their way forward.
Yeah, I mean, that is the job that those only drivers have been trying to push their way forward. But single file starting to come to play here on the bottom of the racetrack. 4 cars have broken away single file. Almost a 5th car there on the inside lane was able to break away. But these 4 cars ride right now single file, and you know from previous experiences that 3 car is not just going to ride there in 3rd.
Absolutely not. I still don't quite see what the game plan was when there was only 5 cars at the front of the pack to still send it out to the outside. But hey, it got them to the point at that point. There's 21 cars on the lead lap, 20 in the lead pack. Still a lot can go on here in these final 30 laps. TCB continues to shove through Howie Briss.
Well, Howie Briss up there in the lead over TCB. TCB continues to ride there in 2nd, third is Sean Williams in that inside lane. Top side is still Gossett. We come around to complete lap number 90, just under or just at 30 laps to go here in this race. We ride on with Daniel Falkingham. And Emerson, Daniel Falkingham's been one of those cars that's wanted to lead out front all afternoon long, but right now he rides that top side lane. Just cool heads prevail riding there in the top side lane.
Absolutely, and Falkingham, he continues to keep his faith on that outside lane. And Robbins, I just realized that's a Minnesota Vikings car. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the playoffs this season, so a little out of date, I guess, for a Minnesota Vikings car. But nonetheless, still repping the purple and gold, I guess? Yeah, purple and gold on that outside lane. Tommy Gossett right there, right in front. This outside is still trying to get something going, but TCB leads it. And now we're going to go to the front. TCB taking that top spot, still side by side with Howie Briss.
Howie
my
Briss
goodness.
gets a block from TCB, and that reminds me of last week when TCB was making these blocks, and you could tell he's going for win number 2 right here, Emerson.
Well, how about it? Can he take 175? Actually, well, I guess it would end up being $200 with all the bonuses and everything. $200 from John in as many 2 weeks. Something. Trying to see if he can do that, but there's, I mean, last week this was coming around to 8 laps to go. This week we're coming around to 28 laps to go. Still a lot to go on here. Aaron Smith now puts himself. Now he's the 5th car in that inside lane for pole sitter. Returns to the front of this field.
TCB pulls the bottom lane right there with Howie Briss just behind him. Here comes Gossett up there on the top side. He's got a quarter panel on Howie Briss, but can't make a move just yet. The 8 car, how about that 8 car of Robin? Somebody we haven't talked about a lot tonight, but he has been a steady driver throughout this field all race long.
Mid-work lap 93. TCB has now really taken control of this race. Howie Briss sounds pretty content. Well, just as I say that, to right behind, he jumps out of line, looking to get the push from Gossett. Maybe he's just waiting for that right time. Gossett, the power shove through the back end of the 97. Howie Briss is clear again, and I think we're going to continue with this conveyor belt action.
Yeah, I think that's just how it is right now. Oh, as a shot comes from TCB, Howie Briss able to hold on to his race car and keep his nose clean. The best view is for that 97 car of Howie Briss, but like you said, this conveyor belt of just pulling one car up to the lead after another is how we're racing here in these closing laps.
It reminds me almost, and I think a lot of people who've played this game or just watched racing of this game. Enter 2003, NASCAR Racing 2003 season. You watch the AI do their thing at plate tracks, and that's kind of what they do. They push a car to the lead of the outside lane, they drop down to the bottom, and they do it all over again. And that's what it started to feel like, but only with Briss and TCB, because TCB goes up and takes that spot away as the push from Tommy Gossett starts to die out a little bit. Josh Robin can't stick to the rear end of the 3. Even Falkingham has now jumped ship from the outside lane. We'll see if TCB still wants to jump out there. He's peeking, but didn't want to jump in front of Gossett that time. Falkingham went to the apron there, and there's Andrew Cardinale, the 4th down on the bottom side, just letting the field by.
Well, I mean, this racing has been really good all evening long, as now TCB just falls in line behind Howie Briss, just continues to ride right there. There's Sean Williams there in 3rd. 4th is Wishon and Daniel Falkingham there in 5th. So those cars continue to run, starting to get a little bit single file. Everybody jumping to the bottom of the racetrack as we complete lap number 95.
We ride on board with Zach Lindgren, inserting himself into the top 10. He's got Femiola right behind as well, trying to push Tommy Gossett, but Gossett's starting to lose some steam. Not really in command of the outside lane. Remember, Falkingham had jumped ship of that outside lane? Well, now he's out in front of this outside lane. I can't believe that. And just the command Falkingham took there of that outside lane. He left it to come back and be in front of it. There it is. You see him right there leading the outside lane. Can he get the push now from Keithley to move even more forward?
Well, he's trying to do just that, trying to get that push from Keithley there in the outside lane and trying to attack these two drivers who have held suit on the bottom of the racetrack. Daniel Falkingham tries to get that run, no power there, but a lap car there on the bottom of the racetrack. They'll make abrasive moves and get by them and continue to hold on the lead for Howie Briss.
Now trying to shoot to the middle. I don't think Gossett wants to ride in line. He wants to be leading the line. But he's certainly going to try to get to the rear end of Falkingham here. He knows that's a fast name to push forward. Zach Lindgren might want to join, but he still wants to stick behind the 27. He wants to jump. He's going to jump. He's going to leave his teammate down on the bottom. And now it's Falkingham, Gossett, and Lindgren, the outside lane. Briss, TCB, and Sean Williams, the inside. With Sean, Keithley make up the rest of the top 8.
2 by 2 by 2 by 2 we roll on here, getting closer to clicking into that 20 laps and under mark. That's when the racing should pick up, but right now it's got something to say about that itself as it picks up right away. The 20 car of Daniel Falkingham to the race lead down the backstretch.
And a push from Gossett sideways. He hangs on. What a job from Falkingham to keep that bad boy straight, and he does. Takes command of this race. That also made Tommy Gossett check up. He now lost a little bit of momentum. He's getting shoved from Lindgren, but Tommy Gossett trying to get something going on the outside. Contact with Howie Briss.
Howie Briss handling goes away right there as he jumps up the racetrack, makes contact with Gossett, but no harm, no foul. Gossett continues to have this push from Zach Lindgren at the front of the field. The 20 car of Falkingham continues to lead down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Femi Olot coming to rise on the top side, but no help. Trying to make something happen up there. He may be experimenting a little bit. He drops back to outside this lead pack. Femi Olot. Maybe this is the stage where he's learning a little bit, seeing who's going to go with him, seeing what kind of runs he's going to be able to generate. Anthony Emery has inserted himself into this mix. For the first time all day, Emery inside the top 10.
Emery, like you said, has made his way inside the top 10. Femi Olot there peaks inside the top 10. Now he falls out. You know, Femi Olot here in these closing 20 laps is going to want to make a move to the front of this field. We've already seen that he has the car that can get to the front of this field. He's done it once, proved that he's got a fast car, and then from that point forward, he slid back and just tried to save his car.
Absolutely. Femi knows what can go on in these NORCTONA races, and I mean, he was up here. I thought he was going to stay up here and just, you know, take control of the race, but I mean, he even thought, like, it's not worth it. He's going to try again later. He's got a hard-charging Emery back there, Tom Mercier, who might want to go with. There's some names back there Femi Olot can conjure up to try to get some get a run with, but they are dead even at the line at the front of this pack. Briss leading the top side, Falkingham, TCB on the bottom side.
Falkingham down there on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got TCB giving him a push. Howie Briss up there in the top lane. He wants some help from that 3 car of Gossett. Can't get that help. Now Falkingham jumps to the top of the racetrack. He finds his car better on the top of the racetrack, but that opens the inside for TCB.
Femi Olot by himself up to the outside of that second row. Nobody joins him. I can't believe that. You think somebody was Sheldon Lockie, the only car up there, to try to go with Femi Olot, but nobody's joining Olot up there. I cannot believe that. Have they not been watching the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, nobody went with with Femi Olot right there, which was surprising, but out front right now, still able to hold this lead is Daniel Falkingham.
Took a little bit of trouble there for Caleb Gladney. We continue on. It is Daniel Falkingham up front, TCB. That's been the duo that has been pushing one another all day long. Tommy Gossett now to the rear end of Howie Briss. Michael Keithley wanted to do some work from third car in that middle lane. Sheldon Lockie trying to get something working with Olot on the top side. Zach Lindgren has his choice of which lane he wants to try to work with to go forward. This time by 18 laps to go at Daytona. Tommy Gossett jumps out in front of Femi Olot. Femiola trying to get to the inside of Goss, and Goss is struggling on the bottoming out a little bit. Now TCB joins Falkingham in the middle of the track. Up the inside is Sean Williams. A push from Jared with Sean. Now Olot jumps out from behind the 3 of Olot. TCB drops down. No help for Falkingham. TCB is going to get a power push to the race lead. Briss trying to get to the rear end of the 20. Jared with Sean sideways trying to hold on, and he does up in the middle of the pack. As things start to calm down a little bit up here, it is TCB now leading a double wide between Sean Williams and Daniel Falke, who now gets the push to the outside from Howie Briss and Keithley, and Olot now third car in the inside lane.
That 20 car of Daniel Falkingham has got the run from the 97 of Howie Briss up on that top side lane. TCB down there on the bottom of the racetrack. He gets a shove now. Daniel Falkingham jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll throw a block.
Wow, oh wow, oh wow. We saw them jump up together. TCB then left Falkingham, and now they're back nose to tail once again. And they're starting to open a little bit of a gap as they try to lap the 2 of Hayes Booth. And now Olot up into 4th. Now looks to the outside of Sean Williams for 3rd.
TCB giving a shove to Daniel Falkingham with 16 laps to go. Now TCB jumps to the outside. Here comes Femi Olot. He's going to give a shove to the 25 car of TCB and try and push him to the lead.
Femi Olot now inserting himself into the mix for the first time since he left the lead. Here he goes, pushing TCB forward. Tommy Gossett following suit. TCB is clear. Olot is clear. They both drop down to the bottom. Tommy Gossett left hanging on the high side. He's actually got Keithley behind and Briss.
Femi Olot now sits there in 2nd. He's got a strong race car. And a matter of fact, a clean race car. One that he's kept clean all day. Daniel Falkingham there on the bottom of the racetrack. He'll give a push to the 25 car of TCB. Side by side for the race lead is Femi Olot and TCB.
Double wide at the front of this field. Olot, TCB, Falkingham, Gossett. 4 big names when it comes to these NORC plate races. Then Keithley, a mainstay up here. Sean Williams, someone who's been up here for a majority of the race. Howie Briss has showed a lot of power up here. Lindgren starting to become the mainstay in this 3rd stage. Aaron Smith, the pole sitter, is up here. The names up here are absolutely insane, and this time by will be 14 laps to go from the World Center of Racing.
14 laps to go. TCB on the bottom of the racetrack, Femi Olot on the top side. Neither driver willing to give up those spots. It's put up or shut up time. We've entered into that portion of the race where the intensity will pick up from here on out. Daniel Falkingham, however, wants to have something to say about that as he's on the bottom lane pushing TCB out front.
TCB to the point. Olot, the push from Gossett. That'll get him to the lead. Not clear to the lead, but to the point is Femi Olot. Can Gossett get him cleared? It's going to be dependent on the push out of 4, but Falkingham right all over the rear end of TCB. It's going to drag race to the line once again. Olot's starting to become the advantage car on the high side. He is cleared to the bottom. Does he clear down, though? Remember what happened? I believe it was in the ARCA race against Ashley Molyneux.
Yeah, surprised not to see Ashley Molyneux mixing it up here in this race tonight, but nonetheless, TCB gets out front now, clear of Femi Olot. He'll jump up in that top side lane, but that opens up the door for Daniel Falkingham. TCB wants the top side. Daniel Falkingham will say, thank you, I'll take the bottom. Just like that, TCB cuts the nose off, slams the door shut of the 20 car of Daniel Falkingham and continues to hold on to this race lead.
It's about that time to start making some aggressive moves. And Falkingham, look at how hard he tried to get out from behind the 25. And now Femi Olot pushing last season's champion forward and forward and forward. And Falkingham is now clear. He will drop down in front of TCB. And now Falkingham to the point. Will he do the blocking now from that lead position?
Daniel Falkingham now, like you said, has the lead. Femi Olot there on the top side. He gets a run here, side by side for the race lead. Here comes Femi Olak. Can he finally snatch this lead away from these dominating drivers out front? Not this turn he won, because here comes Daniel Falkingham on the bottom of the racetrack.
Femi Olak still trying to get this pushed. Gossett has not been a suitable enough push to get Femi Olak clear to the lead yet in this race. TCB and Falkingham, again, a power duo up on that inside lane. Now they have a loyal Sean Williams to join them as well.
3-car of Gossett up there helping Femi Olak in that outside lane with Keithley just behind them. Now Keithley jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll jump behind the 89 car of Williams. Inside lane has the numbers, but does the outside lane have the power?
Sooner or later, we're going to find out. It continues to be near dead heats at the start-finish line. This time by 10 laps to go, and Falkingham has chosen the outside lane this time around. Here comes TCB.
TCB got just what he wanted right there, as now he'll pull this bottom lane out and get back to the front of this field. Perhaps no. Femi Olak's going to give such a nice shove to that 20 car of Daniel Falkingham. It'll keep him out in front of this bottom lane as well.
What a move from Daniel Falkingham. I mean, he's just so smart behind the wheel of one of these NASCAR stock cars, especially one of these NASCAR Xfinity Series cars, and he timed that out. He knew that the momentum was going to shift into TCB's favor, but he trusted the driver behind him. Why wouldn't you trust a driver like Femi Olak? He trusted V18 of Olak to push him forward through and around the 25 at TCB. Now TCB wants to do so. Falkingham's going to go block, but he's not there in time. TCB with the push.
TCB now gets that push, like you said, from Femi Olak. Everybody trusting Femi Olak, but at what point will Femi Olak jump to the race lead? He cuts to the bottom, but TCB yet again throws another cutthroat block in this race.
And I think Olak had enough. He knew he was not going to be able to get to the front with Tommy Gossett pushing him. He decided to drop down and try to play his cards another way. Now Gossett leads that outside lane with a great push from Keithley. Nobody else really up there. Briss and Mercy were trying to make that their third lane up there, but I think they're going to have to drop down behind Keithley. No, they're continuing their charge on that third lane.
They will try with Howie Briss up there in that third outermost lane, but nothing happening up there as of right now. The three most dominant cars down on the bottom of the racetrack as they run now. Here goes Femi Olak to the outside of TCB for the race lead.
Brett Pancari, welcome to the top 10, and his Princess Daisy, number 35 machine. They continue on. Sideways are the two leaders.
Side by side for the race lead. TCB on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got help from Daniel Falkingham, but Femi Olak once again going to try and trust Gossett. Femi Olak cuts down. New leader out front. It is Femi Olak.
That might be just all he needed to get to the lead and command this race, but two very hungry drivers behind. TCB pops out of line.
TCB up to the top of the racetrack. He'll try his luck with Gossett on the top of the racetrack. What's going to happen here in these closing laps? Well, fans, we're getting ready to find out. Keithley there in the middle. He's going to try and get a run up the racetrack to push the 25 car of TCB out front.
I don't like the move TCB pulled. I mean, I like the thought behind this move, but I don't like the unstableness of the lanes behind him, and he doesn't really know who's going to be the driver ending up pushing him. But now Keithley has gotten him to draw even, and Michael Keithley, a driver, he's had his 53 car up here all race long, but he wants to put himself back into this mix, and why not by pushing the 25 at TCB up there? Can he get him up there? Howie Brish trying to help out as well, but it's still Olak and Falkingham the bottom side, 6 to go.
Well, through the entirety of these NORC races, Michael Keithley has been one of the aggressors. Right now, he's perhaps going to have to be the most aggressive he's been that we've seen in these past couple weeks. If he's going to get through the front of this field as everybody checks up right there, no harm, no foul. He's got Howie Brish behind him in the outside lane. This race is picking up with just 6 laps to go.
Zach Lindgren back of that middle lane. You can see all the action picking up as Olot leaves the bottom side. He goes to the middle lane. Falkingham has little to no help on the bottom side. Tommy Gossett peeks out to the race lead.
Gossett wants the race lead, but Femi Olot is going to continue to pull that middle lane with TCB. Here comes Daniel Falkingham on the bottom of the racetrack. They continue to race three wide for the race lead.
Keithley sideways trying to hang on to that thing, but he keeps going. It's now Femi Olot to the point. Now Falkingham, 3 powerhouses at the front of this field. Who wants it more?
Femi Olot has the most help, I believe, from the 25 car of ECB. Now he cuts down to the bottom of the racetrack, thinks the help from Falkingham would be better, and just like that, in a synchronized move, the 3 car of Gossett jumps down in front of that 25 car of Baker.
Now Femi Olot blocks Tommy Gossett. Gossett very aggressive on the rear end of Femi Olot. Falkingham has little to no help on that bottom side, just trying to hang in there.
Femi Olot jumps to the bottom of the racetrack to get that help from Daniel Falkingham. Daniel Falkingham going to give him that push. What's going to happen here? 18 of Femi Olot versus the 3 car crashing behind him.
It is Brett Pancari and more, but we stay green. Now the caution comes out. Brett Pancari, he is destroyed.
A hard hit there for him off this turn number 2 and into the backstretch wall.
We'll be able to see what happened here with the 35 of Brett Pancari. Up on that high side, he drops down in line, and Anthony Emery would just carry too much speed. A little bit of contact with Aaron Smith as well. Another small accident. But Caleb, look at that lap counter. We're going overtime racing.
Oh yeah, we most definitely are, and we have some heavy hitters at the front of this field that I'm excited to see go into overtime and race for this finish.
I want to see this one more time. If we can maybe get the onboard from Emery to see what he saw. He's riding on board with the 44 of Anthony Emery. This is Pancari. I mean, this is just, Pancari, I don't think Pancari was over aggressive, but it was just, I mean, you're not going to lift with this many laps to go.
Yeah, and you can't. I mean, you never know what can shake out in front of the field, and if you lift and take yourself out of a position to perhaps make a move to win this race, it could have kept you from winning the race.
Right, I don't think I'm going to put the blame on either one of those, but I think Anthony Emery, he has left the session, so I think he has called it a day. Pancari is going to go ahead and try to get that thing repaired. Well, I don't know how much luck he'll have. Well, this time I will be 2 laps to go in regulation, and the pace car lights are going to stay on, so we will get some extra laps starting to tick over on that lap counter.
I'm excited for this overtime, Emerson. I mean, Femi Olot, Daniel Falkingham, TCB. Man, it's going to be some good racing to the finish.
It is. It definitely will be. We've had so much already in this race, and I'm just looking forward to all the more that's going to come out of it. Again, drivers getting their laps back. I think Patrick Colby might be getting one of his laps back. Actually, no, he's on the pit lane. He's 1 lap down. But if he gets another caution, he misses it. Patrick Colby's going to be back in this race.
Yeah, you know, this caution does change some things for some of those drivers in the back of this pack that maybe didn't have a chance. And especially when you come to Daytona in this kind of race, cautions breed cautions. So curious to see what will happen here when we go back green flag racing.
Now look at this. Falkingham pulling up alongside Femi Olot. You see Olot, he's actually running the banner from when he ran the Contender Series to get himself back into the NASCAR Coca-Cola Series. Just a neat little tidbit there. You can see the yellow banner, and that is, I believe, the official series banner for that series. He had to get himself back into that top tier series.
Well, Femi Olot, if he can do everything right here in this 2-lap shootout to the finish, really, you know, depending on what happens, if he can just get to that white flag and keep his nose out front, no matter what happens back behind him, he could come home victorious in this race.
Now, what I haven't really been doing today, and I did earlier, and I see that it is I don't know how well it's worked out. Actually, he's a couple laps down, but I have not really been interviewing drivers. At this point, I'm not going to interview anyone because this is when you got to lock in. But I remember last week, or a couple weeks ago, when we interviewed drivers, and then all of a sudden some bad luck would happen to them. So I've just kind of been leaving a lot of drivers alone. I tried Hayes Booth. I think unfortunately that commentator's curse, that interview curse, is still very much a thing. Yeah.
Don't blame you one bit there. I mean, you'd hate to be the cause of putting one of these drivers out.
But at this point, I don't think it's a time to anyway. I think these drivers, they're all very much in their mindset. So we're going overtime racing. They don't want to be disturbed. They want to stay focused and get ready. As we're doubled up and getting ready to go. Just a quick look at the top 10. It's Femi Olot, TCB, Daniel Falkingham, Tommy Gossett, Michael Keithley, Sheldon Lockie, Sean Williams, Howie Briss, Tom Mercier, Jared Washon. There is 18 cars on the lead lap. We are not wounded. Well, I cannot quite answer that one. We're getting ready to see a lot of action here because I don't think there's too many damaged cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, I mean there is a good bit of damaged cars on this lead lap, but I think the race winner is going to come in these drivers right here of Femi Olot, Daniel Falkingham, TCB, Gossett, Keithley, and so on.
A cold night here to wrap up the NORCTONA National 300. We're back to racing. It's overtime, baby, in Daytona. Down the back straight away. It is Femi Olot and TCB powering ahead on the inside, but they are 3 lanes wide, 3 lanes strong, entering 3 and 4.
Daniel Falkingham using that middle lane, trying to get a run on TCB and Femi Olot. He's got Gossett behind him. Here we come to the white flag. Femi Olot there on the inside. Here comes Falkingham in the middle lane. White flag in the air.
Daniel Falkingham leads at the white flag presented by Tucson Sounder. Double wide, and they're still coming around here at Daytona. Who will survive the final lap? It's Olot with the power move to the front. He's got TCB who's going to go around behind, and now it's Falkingham. They make contact up front. They keep it going. Tommy Gossett's going to send Falkingham. They continue to dart around. Everybody saves it. Tommy Gossett to the front, at the front of the field, on the high side, and around goes more cars behind. Several cars involved. Everybody bodying one another. Femi Olot trying to get the run, but it's Tommy Gossett out in front to the line. Olot jumps out. He jumps to the bottom. They make contact, and it's going to be at the line. Tommy Gossett. Oh my goodness. Tommy Gossett gets it at the line.
Tommy Gossett, a driver who all day long kept his nose clean at the front of the field. Emerson makes the right moves down the backstretch on that final lap here in overtime, and he's going to go to victory lane.
Howie Briss, Femi Olot, the rest of the top 3. And absolutely, we're going to try to get you replays of that wild final lap. Absolutely, we're going to go ahead and see if we can cue that up, because that was something else. And we're going to see if we can get maybe some overhead shots here, see all of this unfold. This is coming around to the white flag. TCB on the bottom side, pushing Femi Olot. Michael Keithley shoving his heart out. Same with Sean Williams, shared with Sean, Jared Darling. Everybody trying to keep themselves in it and alive. But you know how these final laps at Daytona go in these NORC races.
Oh yeah, I mean anything goes in the final laps of this, and you got to do what's best for you and what can keep you at the front of the field. And you see TCB go around right there, and then how about that contact right there between Femi Olot and Falkingham?
And look at this power move from Will Klein up the middle of the pack, trying to go forward. Everybody's going sideways, and a little bit of net-coded contact. Several cars eat the wall back there. Contact there between Mercier and Falkingham. 3 wide back there. Olot tries. He had the run. He tried to go to the outside. And then to the inside. Contact. And it was slipping and sliding to line. Briss kept his power in it, but could not get there.
What a race, Emerson. I mean, from the drop of the green flag, clean race, really. I mean, the drivers at the front of the field treat each other with respect all evening long, and you see Gossett doing the victory burnouts there on the front stretch here at Daytona.
Very much so. And doing them now live. We'll catch up with his celebration. That number 3 Tommy Gossett racing vehicle. A beautiful Toyota Supra. I'd imagine this is the Dale Jr. Bud colors, but on a Supra. And he's going to go for a Polish victory lap. Why not?
Why not?
Absolutely. I mean, a chance for him to take a breather as well and try to soak it all in, because so much went on there. So much just... You know it's going to be good when you get this field all bunched up in the waning laps at Daytona, and then you throw the NORC label on it. It's just absolutely phenomenal, the show that we got.
No doubt about that. Another exciting race here at NORC, and it just makes you look oh so forward to next week and the final wrap-up of this 5-week series and what's to come.
Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see if we can get Tommy Gossett here as soon as he starts to finish up his celebration. Let's see if we're going to be able to hear from the man who got the job done tonight here at Daytona. He's going to come around here on the front straight. We're just going to go ahead and bring him on in. Driver of number 3, Tommy Gossett. You got it done at NORCTONA here in the Xfinity cars. How does it feel?
Finally. Finally. That's all I really can say about it. Finally. It's a long time coming to NORC, and to get in the second to last race means a lot. I literally grew up watching this league. I started watching it when it was on console. So finally be able to get a win here, no matter what kind of track it is, it means a lot.
Right. It was wild tonight. You got 17 laps led, and then you got to think about all the names you're going against. TCB, who absolutely dominated last week. Femi Olot, an NASCAR driver. Daniel Falkingham, the champion of last season. All going all out that final run, and then the caution. But going all out, that final run to the end of the race, and you're just trying your heart out to try to get, whatever going in your outside lane. What's that like? The drivers in front of you changing every corner.
I was keeping my foot in it. I didn't care. I knew that I probably won't be able to make next week, so I knew this was probably my last chance to ever win in NORC, so I was keeping my foot in it. Hell or high water, I was going to either win or I was taking just the steering wheel back.
Well, if this is truly your last race ran in NORC, what kind of memories are you going to be able to take from this amazing league?
A lot of hostility, honestly. A lot of hostility, a lot of anger, but a lot of fun times too. This was the first league I came into when I got into iRacing, and just to race with all these guys, it means a lot. So I want to take a lot of good memories away.
Absolutely. Well, Tommy, getting it done here, the NORCTONA National 300. You got yourself $100 as well. What's that going to go to?
It's going to be donated. It's going to go to St. Jude Family Research Center, our Children Cancer Center. I don't need the money, so it needs to go to a good cause.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. You love to hear it. Tommy, well, very much so. Congratulations. Thank you on the, for doing what you're gonna do. The donation of the money. That's a great cause. And yeah, thanks for putting on a great show. Congratulations on the amazing win and your time here at NORC. And if you're able to show up, best luck to you next week. But if you're not, best luck to you in your future endeavors. And congratulations on this amazing win here in the National 300.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Right on. Driver of the number 3, Tommy Gossett, getting it done. The 17 laps led, staying up at the front. He was up front almost all day long, Caleb.
Yeah, he was, and he ran a really good race, kept his nose clean, and was there when it counted, and made the right move there on that final lap.
Absolutely. So Caleb, our second place finisher tonight is driver of the number 97, Howie Briss. He started to become a mainstay, especially in that third stage in his bright orange Home Depot machine, and he's going to be standing by with you.
Well, Mr. Briss, you ran a clean race all afternoon long, or evening, I should say, long. Got up there, led some laps, brought it home in second place. Take us through your thoughts on your overall performance today.
I'm actually happy about how the race ended and how I finished, but I thought I had it. I definitely thought I had it, but all in all, everybody raced clean, which I'm happy about. So glad everybody kept their noses clean and didn't die on lap 11 like last week.
Well, jumping right into that, this week was obviously a lot cleaner race from start to finish than what we've seen in the past 3 weeks here with these NORC races. What do you think played the biggest difference tonight compared to the previous weeks? Do you think it was just driver mentality or maybe these Xfinity cars themselves?
I think the cars themselves, because the trucks were a little bit more fragile and a bit on edge. These cars, they were a bit on edge if you get pushing a bit, but yeah, I think it's just the cars, and I think everybody changed their mindset going into this week, because after what happened last week, I don't know how many finishers we had, but I definitely think it's both the car and the drivers.
Well, a combination of both. Obviously, you started 10th, you finished second, and you led 21 laps. A good day overall, but heading into the NORCTONA 500 next week, what is it going to take for you to get that one spot better and get the victory in that race?
Do the same thing as tonight. Just hope that I get it.
Well, we appreciate you being a part of this race and talking with us here on Pit Stop TV. All the best of luck here until we see you again next week for the NORCTONA 500. Once again, congrats on a good second place finish this evening.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That was second place finisher, driver of the number 97, Howie Briss. And it appears, I don't believe we're going to be able to have the chance to talk to third place finisher Femi Olot, but we do have fourth place finisher Daniel Falkingham to talk to. Hey there, champ. How is it going? Fourth place finish tonight through all the hecticness up there at the front of the pack. Fourth, I'm not sure if that's what you wanted, but take us through it.
Well, this is the first time in 4 weeks I've crossed the finish line, so I'll be very happy about that. So I'll take that end of the week. But yeah, of course, I wanted to win the race. But yeah, I'm surprised how clean that race was. We had a lot of green flag racing. Too bad we didn't have a green flag pit stop. But to be able, we were running up front all race. I wanted to ride in the back at the start, but then all sorts of chaos went down. So I decided to just cut my way through the pack, and all of a sudden I was in the top 5 at the end of stage 1. So, and thankfully that was the best way to stay ahead of all the wrecks and stuff. And we had some really good racing. I was working really well with TCB, Howie, Femi, Tommy, all those guys up there. So it was a blast up there. It was a lot of fun. And so yeah, I'm just glad to be able to be there. Hey, we gave ourselves a shot at the end, so I'm very happy about that. And I think I made about like 500 saves down the back straightaway. I don't know if you caught all that, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've had a wheel down the back straightaway at Daytona that much to save a car, but holy crap, I'm just glad I didn't wreck the thing. I actually kept the thing straight, so I'm very happy about that.
How it was up there, for most of the race, it was you and TCB. Femi came up late, but I guess if we're talking about this run to the end, then Femi and Tommy Gossett and Michael Keithley. But it looked like you and TCB can just continue to find each other. And was that pre-planned, or once you got up there, did y'all just kind of find each other and continue to work with each other really well, so y'all kept that going?
Nah, once we found each other, we just hit it off. Pretty much that's what we do on any plate track. It seems like when me and TCB can get together, we just go. I mean, we don't plan to like meet at all. It's just whenever we find each other, then then I guess it's shake and bake time. So thankfully, me and him worked really well. Too bad he got wrecked at the end. If he wouldn't have got wrecked at the end there, it would have been interesting to see who could have been the best pusher coming to the end of the race. If PCB could have pushed Femi or Tommy could have pushed me. But yeah, congrats to Tommy on the win. I know he hasn't been right here for a while, and I think that's his first ever NORC win too. So congrats to him with the second last race ever. So, but that's a good time to win a NORC race for sure. Wishing him best of luck in Road to Pro. I don't know if we'll meet each other in Road to Pro this year, but yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, congrats to him on the win, and just glad we could all keep it straight there.
Are you going for it this year? Road to Pro?
Yes, I am. I just joined at the new year. I just joined North Force Racing. Special shout out to Derek Justice, who even gave me an opportunity to go to North Force. Had a talk with old Presley Gilson over there, and now I'll be representing those guys, and I'll be running with those guys for Road to Pro this year, and I'm looking really forward to it. They're an amazing team. I've gotten to know quite a few of them already. Got to know all my teammates, and I think it's going to be something pretty good this year. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and looking forward to February 17th is when it all kicks off.
Absolutely. Well, if I don't get to talk to you next week or before event or whatever, I wish you the best of luck in that, because that is huge. Again, I fully believe you're gonna be able to do great things climbing up the eNASCAR ladder. But yeah, best luck to you with all of that, Daniel. With that being said, you're coming off the Xfinity Series Championship last season. This is the only other NORC race and Xfinity cars you're going to tackle. Was that coming to mind that, you really like own this car against these people? I know it's Daytona, but it's like any added confidence coming into Daytona with that?
Nah, not really. I mean, it's Daytona. It's always going to be pack racing and whatnot. But I think the B car, in my opinion, has the best plate package out of like 80 out of ARCA. I mean, if we're going for flat out super speedway racing, the 87s are top all day. But when we're talking about like actual pack racing, super speedway racing, I think the B car is the best package, because we're not all clumped together. The draft isn't that huge. The side draft isn't that huge, but there's a good side draft where you can pull someone back. Not like the truck, where the trucks, if you get a super humongous run, and then it's really hard to push in the truck, especially what we saw last week when I got killed before quarter way through the race. But I just feel like the B car is just the most fun, where we can push. You can actually give some really good pushes. You can sometimes push at the corner if you do it right, and me and TCB were doing that really well. So I just feel like the B car is just a lot of fun to drive on the plate tracks compared to whatever we're gonna run next week. Because apparently we don't know if we're running Gen 6 or next gen next week. Because with this new with the Coliseum coming out tomorrow, and I guess the next gen getting updated, we could see some changes to the next gen. So, but yeah, definitely looking forward to get a good result. I really want to ship off some good results here to hopefully wrap up NORC, and hopefully we can end NORC in victory lane next week.
Right on. Well, Daniel, congratulations on the 4th place finish tonight, and crossing the finish line. Because I've seen the final laps throughout these 4 races. They've been crazy. And as you said, finally crossing the finish line one of these. So there you go. Congratulations on that. Best luck to you in Road to Pro. And of course, next week in the NORCTONA 500. Hope to see you there. Hope to be talking to you then as well. Congratulations and best luck to you.
Yes, I just want to really shout out First Ray Lap 2. Yeah, just want to shout out First Ray Lap 207 for all my personal sponsors. Got to thank them for all their support. Also got to thank John Barry for running the league. I know he's been doing this league for pretty much a decade now, and I know we're getting to the end of this thing. So I got to thank him for all he's done all these years. I've been here since 2018, and it's been a blast. So got to thank him for all he's done. Thanks to everyone who comes out and races each and every week. They make these races a blast, especially when we get good racing like we did tonight. Only like 2 cautions other than the stages. So, I mean, we had some solid racing. So shout out to everybody. Hope we can put on one final good show for all you fans next week. Shout out to all the fans who've been following us for so many years. Got to thank you guys putting on the broadcast for coming on last season and then being here to end the NORC era. Also got to thank, once again, North Force Racing, Presley Gilson, everybody over there. Get ready for Road to Pro in a few weeks and looking forward to that. Thanks to SRD Setups as well. SRDsetups.com. Go check them out. And thanks to all the fans watching each and every week again. And thanks to friends and family for watching as well.
Right on. Once again, Daniel, best luck to you. Road to Pro next week in the NORCTONA 500. Hopefully we'll be talking to you next week as well. And yeah, we'll be seeing you, man.
All right, thanks, Emerson. You know I'm going to put on one good show next week.
Yes, sir. Driver of number 20, Daniel Falkingham, last season champion. He'll place 4th in tonight's NORCTONA National 300. We got a bunch of results to go through, so we'll go ahead and we'll get started on those. But let's go through it with Tommy Gossett at the top of the results page. First ever NORC win. Tommy Gossett gets it done. Howie Briss comes home 2nd. Femi Olot 3rd. Daniel Falkingham will bring it home 4th. Tom Mercier 5th. Michael Keithley 6th. Aaron Smith comes home 7th. Sean Williams will be 8th. Zach Lindgren 9th. And Josh Robin will round out the top 10.
11th is going to be Tyrell Baker, TCB. 12th is going to be Matt Hummel. 13th is going to be Sheldon Lockie. 14th, David Shutt. 15th is the 48 of Will Klein. 16th is Jared Wishon. 17th, Jarek Darling. 18th, Spencer Owens. 19th, Patrick Colby. And rounding out the top 20, Hayes Booth.
Go on to Heartbreakers Row here. Tony Hillbrands comes from 21st. Anthony Emery pulled the early exit 22nd with his accident with Brett McCarry 23rd, 5 laps down. Andrew Cardinale to 4th. A short-lived night for him. He'll come up 31 laps short there in 24th. John Barry will call it an evening at 40 laps remaining. 25th, Dylan Patterson comes from 26th. Jimmy Gregory 27th. They're 47 and 49 laps down respectively. 28th, Cody Lamas. He'll come home 64 down. Bobby Cheney 29, 96 down. Seth Noel finishes 30th, 97 laps down. Aiden Kirker 31st, 101 laps down. And Freddie De La Rosa, last car in the results page, 102 laps down. So Caleb, another classic NORC finishes. 4 races here at Daytona in the month of NORCTONA. 4 amazing finishes, 4 wild final laps, 4 great shows, but all great shows for all different reasons. Only can imagine what we're going to see next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that's the big one, Emerson, you know, and everybody, it's been building for that moment. So excited to see what shakes out next week.
Absolutely. Next Tuesday, if you've been living under a rock or you just don't know, next Tuesday is the NORCTONA 500. It's the big send-off here for the NORC iRacing Series. We cannot wait to cover it. Andrew Cardinale the 4th will be back up here, man in the booth, and leading us all to a great broadcast here next week. And cannot wait to see how it all unfolds then. But before we get there, we got some other shows coming up on the docket tomorrow afternoon here in the States. We'll be back at it again. We will be broadcasting the iRacing Official Series, the Ferrari GT3 Challenge at Imola. The other track in Italy, one of the tracks that Formula 1 has gone to Imola. A great track. A fun track. There's a lot of little technical chicanes and a lot of elevation change on the backside of the course, a lot of long straightaways. Cannot wait tomorrow. If you are an iRacer with a D-Class road license minimum, you are able to sign up for the Ferrari GT3 Challenge and try your hand to try to get into top split. Now, you gotta probably meet a certain iRating threshold. That last week, the lowest iRating we had in that split was about 2,043. I believe that was the lowest iRating in the split last week. So, if you've got somewhere about a 2K iRating or higher in road, you have a great chance at making top split tomorrow afternoon, 2:45 p.m. Eastern. Go ahead and sign up, see what you can do. Or if you're out across the pond in the UK, 7:45 p.m. over there. Go ahead, sign up, try to get yourselves in top split. We'll be broadcasting that, the 15-minute race from Imola in the Ferrari GT3s. It's Ferraris at an Italian racetrack. What more could you want? Thursday night, British sim racers are back in action with their touring car series. BSRTC takes to the Scottish track, the Knockhill Racing Circuit, a new track to iRacing. It'll be 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. here in the States. You won't want to miss it. Those touring cars doing battle at the short little Knockhill Racing Circuit. I believe the Mazdas were a blast to watch today. Cannot wait to see how they do Thursday afternoon with the touring cars. And of course, Sunday night, the Superior Class Auto Racing Series is back in action with their GT1 cars. They take to the other Italian Formula 1 track of note recently. They take to the Monza, Autodromo Nacional Monza Again, the temple of speed, high speed, tight little chicanes, GT1 cars that sound beautifully amazing. You won't want to miss it. Sunday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here to cover it all. Monday evening, it'll be the penultimate race of the BRP iRacing series with their Dirt Big Block Season 2. They're going to be wrapping up their season with their 13th race out of 14. And they'll be at, I believe it is Eldora Speedway. So that should be a good, grand old time next Monday night. Come see some Dirt Big Blocks in action as they start to wrap up their Dirt Big Block season. A lot of drama went down last night. You're going to want to keep up with it next Monday night. Tuesday afternoon, BSR is back in action with their British Sim Racers MX5 series, their Trophy Tuesdays. They're going to be at their 6th round of 9 already at the Snetterton circuit. It's a fun little track as well. I say fun little track a lot, but all of these are fun little tracks. MLS not little and Monza's not little, but they're fun tracks. I love road racing, and I just did a whole 24-hour race on racing. I might be road racing burnt out, but I love these tracks. Snetterton will be a blast next Tuesday night, same time, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, MX5 Trophy Tuesday, Snetterton, and of course, that leads us back to NORCTONA for the NORCTONA 500. All of the biggest names in NORC showing out at the World Center of Racing for 500 miles. Yes, it'll be 200 laps, 500 miles, a big one, and a big show for us, Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said a few minutes ago, it's the big one. It's the one that all these races are building towards, and we're excited to see these drivers shake out. 200 laps, it's a long race. Probably going to be stage racing there and too, so excited to see how that race shakes out. If you want to follow, we want you to follow Pit Stop TV on social media. You can follow us on Facebook at Pit Stop TV or on Twitter at Pit Stop TV _. Instagram, it's Pit_Stop_TV. And then on YouTube, to search us, it's Pit Stop TV 1. So keep up with everything going on in the Pit Stop TV world on those social media outlets as we gear up for this upcoming week of races.
Right on. Of course, we have our Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV. And yeah, gotta give a huge shout out to all of our partners here at Pit Stop TV. Of course, Bone Wake Up and Corral, Maine. You deserve the best care that money can buy. Tucson Sound Art, your picture, your music. Whiplash Media, of course, the official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV and BAM Racing videos by a race fan for the racing community. But yeah, a wild night. Again, can't thank you all enough for once again joining us for tonight's coverage. Thank you all so much for supporting Pit Stop TV and of course all of our lovely partners here. But that's gonna do it tonight from the virtual Daytona International Speedway. We're happy to have had you all here tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Pit Stop TV, Caleb Gladney alongside myself on the mic, Jay Cook rocking our social media coverage this evening. Go check out his posts on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Myself, Emerson Arden, production and the call tonight. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow, either on the track or from the channel for the Ferrari Challenge from next Tuesday night for the NORCTONA 500. Until then, have a good one. We will see you next time.
cry. Wanna cry.